That meet, I was awake for 12 days before that competition. Like, it was literally normal for me to be awake for 2 or 3 days, completely and utterly exhausted. And I would lay down and I'd be like, nothing would be on my mind. Totally calm, totally relaxed, feel great, just won't sleep. You don't get strong in the gym. You stimulate growth in the gym. You get strong when you recover, and you recover outside the gym. I'm sitting in a chair with a loaded gun to my head, trying to think of a reason why I shouldn't do it. And there's at least a little part of my brain that said, Chad, this is not real. For certain people and for aggressive people, the stimulation of growth is easy.
We're trying to figure out the origin of like when we met. We have Chad Aichs on the podcast here today, and Chad is squatted over 1,200 pounds in competition, benched over 8, and probably pulled around 800 pounds.
Yeah, I never officially pulled 8 in a competition.
Your training partner did, though, and he rubbed it in, let you know about it a lot, right?
Yeah, Scott pulled 8 and could have pulled more.
Yeah, he was. I remember he was
a freak. He was a truly freak.
We were talking about. I had Dave Tate come out for a seminar, and that was actually when I was working at Pioneer High School. I was a strength coach at Pioneer High School.
I remember that.
And had Dave come out, and I was working at a gym, and I had the beginnings of Super Training Gym in the back of another gym called Body Construction Zone. And then it was a few years later where I had Louis Simmons come out and do a seminar, and we were talking about how rare it was for Louis to travel. Louis didn't even travel to Joe Rogan's show. Joe Rogan went. It's like one of few of Joe Rogan's shows where Joe Rogan's at a different location. It might be the only one.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy. I mean, if Joe Rogan wants me, I will fly the...
Yeah, I would go wherever.
Dude, Joe Rogan can like change your whole everything. You know?
Louis was different though. Like when I went to pick up Louis Simmons from the airport, he's waiting by baggage, and he's like with his back to the door. He's like he's facing like towards the baggage. Like I don't think he understands like the airport. Like I'm coming there to if you said, hey, can you pick me up at the airport?
Yeah,
I would be assuming like, oh, Nsima's coming in from Florida or something like that, and he's landing in Sacramento. He'll probably be out front.
Yeah,
I'll drive. So I drove by a couple times and I didn't see him. I'm like, I better go in there. Maybe he's waiting for his luggage or something. And I go in and he's just sitting there, and he didn't even have any luggage. I was like, you waiting on some luggage or something? He's like, no, I'm ready to go. And I'm like, if I didn't just walk in here, I would have never found him.
Yeah, that's pretty funny, actually. But I can see that. Louis, that's one of the things I liked about Louis. Louis was Louis. I don't think Louis ever changed for anybody.
What do you think some of the biggest things that you took from Louis?
First of all, I never trained at Westside.
Oh, yeah?
Like, everybody thinks I trained at Westside, and I don't know where that came from. I would go visit Westside.
Okay.
And like usually when I was there, I was for a competition, or like I'm one of those guys where like these are my training days. People are like, well, you're going to be at Westside. I go, it's not my training day. Yeah, but you're at Westside, and I go, it's not my training day, man.
Most people would not. Like they just train anyway.
Going there to hang out and help the guys, and like I don't care.
Plus, it's a little bit like it would be a little similar to if all the jiu-jitsu guys who are awesome are all meeting up at one spot. The like intensity level might be a little like where someone like yourself might be smart enough to be like, I would love to train on this day, but
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like you have a tendency to want to go way heavier, way harder than maybe what you wanted for a particular day, right?
But to me, it didn't. I mean, I was there to learn. What am I going to learn by training when I'm not supposed to be training?
Right.
So I would just go. I would go hang out and talk to Louis, and
go to Bob Evans.
We went to Bob Evans, and like, cause I think was it Tony Ramos, my friend would picked us up a couple times and would take us there and stuff, and I just wanted to hang out and watch what they were doing, learn, talk to Louis, and like, man, the biggest things that I learned from Louis, I would probably say to follow your own path and keep researching and looking. Don't ever think that this is enough. Like
his willingness to share,
and even like, I mean, the story of when him and Dave started with bands. I mean, okay, you took Louis, who's this crazy strong dude, was open-minded enough to go, wait a minute, maybe there's something to this. Let's go to this seminar. Like, and do something that's completely out of underground strength training.
He went
bands, like any bands. That's like for Jane Fonda. What? You know, but he embraced it and said, hey, maybe there's something to this.
He went to a basketball seminar.
Yeah.
With Dick Hartzell. Dick Hartzell is the rubber band man, and Dick Hartzell responsible for anything that you've seen pretty much anyone do with a band. Dick Hartzell is responsible for, including traction and some of the things you maybe later saw Kelly Starrett and some other people incorporate. Those all descended downward from Dick Hartzell. And Dick Hartzell may have gotten him from somewhere else, but I don't believe so. I think he created a lot of these different movements. And Louis was smart enough to realize, hey, these heavy bands, if I attach it to a bar, it could be helpful for strength. What do you think it was doing?
What it did, the bands, I mean, because I have a little bit of a physical therapy background, not as a therapist, working in the field, and went to school but didn't finish it. You know, we always had like TheraBand, and we did band stuff, and we did like leg extensions with the band, and it's tighter at the end. So, I mean, it was, again, like, is there any real original ideas? So they all come from somewhere. And so then it came in, and like, I'm still not a huge fan of all the bands with max effort stuff. I think, well, why not just shorten the movement and do like the top end of the movement and go heavier? But I love bands for dynamic training. And I'm huge in the velocity based. If people, because I see all the time, well, I'm doing dynamic training. It's like, dude, that's not dynamic training.
What is it? What is dynamic training? What does that mean to you?
Speed. It's more important the speed you're going than the weight that's on the bar. So that was kind of goes back to my throwing background, where we trained explosive all the time. And so you got guys going, oh, I'm doing dynamic training. It's like, no, dynamic training is supposed to be explosive and this fast. And they had Nintendo units at Westside. So I don't think they used them all the time, but at least Louis had looked into it, and he goes, I know it's supposed to be about this fast. You know, so guys are I'm doing dynamic force training. It's like, no, you're not. It's slow as shit, dude. Like, you're doing 0.3 millimeters per second. If you're lucky, you're supposed to be at 7.
Louis talked that way all the time. Yeah. He was talking those numbers, and you're like, I got to look this shit up.
But he was kind of to me, he was a mix of like intelligence and common sense, kind of like a mix between a scientist and blue collar. Because he knew all this shit. I mean, you read Super Training, right? Gee, holy crap! That book is horrible to get through.
Oh yeah, it's
absolutely horrible. And like Louis read that, but he can also make it a little more simple.
Just a little bit on what
that's where I
just to give people some insight onto what the bands do. The bands do something that Louis said it accommodates resistance. The resistance heavier at the top, lighter at the bottom. And just a really quick example for everyone to understand is if you were to try to bench press a barbell as fast and as rapidly as possible, your body is smart enough to slow down at some point, to have like deceleration so you don't hurt yourself as you're pressing that weight up. If you took the same 45-pound bar and just attach a band to it, you can now push, maybe force isn't the right word, but you can make it look like a faster movement because there's going to be less deceleration because you have a resistance band that is accommodating the resistance as your body gets in a more favorable position.
So, and you can also do that with chains. So when I started learning Westside and doing Westside, I wanted to do dynamic work, but I couldn't afford chains or bands. So I would squat with between 400 and 500 pounds, and I thought it was cool because I would launch it off my back. So I would come up and go, boom, catch it, do another set, boom, boom. And it was really cool until my back started hurting. Like
your back and your
But
neck.
that was because I'm like, okay, it's accommodating resistance. I can't decelerate. I have to go all the way to the top. So if you go all the way to the top and you don't decelerate, especially at the top where you get stronger, sure, the weight that you can do off the bottom quickly, you're going to be able to throw off.
You actually have a really good point. I mean,
so you
that's
put
what,
bands and chains on so that you can go as fast as you can, but there's going to be so much tension you're not launching it off your
These
back.
training methods have been around for a while. You see like Jay Schroeder and some of those other people bench pressing weight where they actually, the Marinoviches throwing the weight off their body and then catching it and things like that and doing the same with squats.
Yeah, and the throwers were doing that way, way back in the day.
Right.
And guys were doing box jumps with bars, holding bars and stuff like that.
I think a big part of your story, I think the thing that we should tackle first is sleep. And we're going to talk about your book and all that kind of stuff too. But I think let's just tackle and give people some insight onto what sleep deprivation does to somebody and kind of Yeah, where it took you. I mean, you were still able to have these enormous totals. I believe you totaled over 2,600 pounds.
Yeah, 2733 or something like that.
Over 2,700 pounds, unbelievable. And you do that with virtually no sleep for probably over a decade.
Yeah. There were, at my worst, it was normal to be up for 2 or 3 days. So this is funny because when you invited me down for the premiere Bigger, Faster, Stronger, and you're like, you can bring a guest. Well, I was single at the time, so my buddy likes to make movies. And he's also a lifter, and he played American football in Australia. So I called my buddy Lloyd up, and I'm like, hey, Mark just invited us down to the Bigger, Faster, Stronger. And he's like, oh, shit, dude, I'm kind of broke right now. And I go, dude, all we got to do is get airfare and a car. He's like, well, what about the hotel? I go, dude, we're only going to be down here for a few days. We just don't sleep. And he's like, what? I go, yeah, no big deal. We're not spending money on a hotel. So we come down, and I'm like, it was literally normal for me to be awake for 2 or 3 days.
Wow.
We kind of we talked about photography.
That's like disturbing to me right now, because like I can't imagine.
Well,
Go ahead.
I would. There's a lot of times as I was getting into photography and getting deep into this, so I'm like, okay, I like shooting at night, man. So I would do my training, go home, try to sleep, not going to sleep. Okay, I'd get up, I'd pack up my camera bag, and I would go downtown. Or I'd like to go to cemeteries and do photos at night and stuff like that. I'd go wander around all night doing photography, come home, jump in the shower, go to work. And I would do that for 2 or 3 days, and then eventually I would sleep for a little bit, and then just keep going. It's just the way it was.
I'm curious, man. How were you like? How was your personality? How were you? Because I just imagine I'd just be mad. Like, and how were you not feeling tired? Because I know you said you couldn't sleep, but is it you couldn't sleep and you didn't feel tired, or you tried to sleep, you felt tired, but you couldn't sleep?
Oh,
so
no,
you went and did shit.
Yeah, I was exhausted.
You were exhausted.
Yes, completely
Jesus.
and utterly exhausted.
Yeah.
And I would lay down, and I'd be like, oh, it's so good to lay down. Nothing would be on my mind. Totally calm, totally relaxed, feel great, just won't sleep.
Wow.
And so, after a while, yeah, you can be calm, but after a while, just laying there, your brain starts going.
Yeah.
And then now your brain's going, now how the hell am I going to fall asleep? So that's when I would be like, all right, well, I'm just going to get up and go do something. And photography was one of the things I would do. Sometimes I'd just go walk downtown. Speaking of the angry thing, I was kind of like hoping somebody would fuck with me.
Okay.
Because you're like, I want to get some aggression out.
Yeah, yeah.
Luckily nobody ever did. But I mean, it was bad. Like the longest, the clip in Bigger, Faster, Stronger, that meet, I was awake for 12 days before that competition. And then I was awake for 2 or 3 more days afterwards. Things were getting really weird, so I can't say for sure, but
I think 12 days is like a world record, honestly. Like,
they say you can't, and I'm like, but I did.
Someone did like 20 days or something like that.
Yeah, you get weird. Like at work at the time, I worked for a liquor company, and I was in charge of beer and rotation and stuff like that. And I knew my mind was not good, so I took really, really heavy notes. And all the inventory guys are like, "Dude, you're the best, man. Like your shit is always right." And I'm like, yeah, it's because I know I'm screwed up, so I take notes.
What's the record?
And everything.
The world record is 11 days, 25 minutes.
Yeah, you can go longer.
The shocking thing is that like you also had like a meet. So you had this thing that you had to have your body put forward high amounts of force. You had to organize yourself underneath heavy load. Mm-hmm. And you still managed that. And this is the thing is it doesn't sound like any of us are talking about this in a positive context. You wanted to sleep, but you just had to do all of this without. So, I mean, I know we're probably going to get to it, but like, I mean, how the hell were you managing to train? And also actually, before I even asked that, was this normal for you to get way less sleep before competition was competition getting in your head and making it worse?
No, normally my best night of sleep is the night of competition.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know why.
Like the night after the competition is done, or the night before
the night
the
before.
competition? Okay.
Because to me, that's a cool thing. Like all the work's done.
Yeah.
There's nothing to change. I can't fix anything. I get to show what I did tomorrow. Cool. So like people who get nervous right the night before a meet never made sense to me. I'm like, dude, you should be happy. You should be like ecstatic.
Yeah, you're almost at the finish line here.
Yeah, you get to show off everything you did. But like, so I didn't know that my sleep problems started around 5th grade. I didn't know I had sleep problems until probably my mid-30s.
Wow.
I just thought everyone was up all night. I thought people, this is what they had to do. And I learned over time that if I didn't take every other weekend and take one day to sleep in, things would go really wrong. I would start getting massive migraine headaches. I would start getting really moody. My anger issues would go over the top. And I just thought I thought everyone dealt with that. I did not know. Then as I started getting bigger for powerlifting, I developed sleep apnea. So at one time I fell asleep at a stop sign. Like just dozed off and woke up and I went, oh, I'm gonna hurt somebody. Like this is dangerous.
Yeah.
So I immediately went to the doctor. We scheduled my sleep studies and everything. And they're like, yeah, you have apnea. Put me on a CPAP. Well, my sleep's still horrible. Like the techs would wake up and I'm like, so how was it? And they're like, you had a bad night, huh? I go, what? No, that was okay. That was a decent night. Like for me, that was okay. And they're like, you're kidding me. And I'm like, no, yeah, I was. And they're like, because it didn't look good at all. And that's when we found out I don't get deep sleep. And we finally discovered I had narcolepsy through the MSLT test.
Exactly what is narcolepsy?
And the blood test. Narcolepsy, there's kind of different phases of narcolepsy, but basically narcolepsy, they don't even fully understand yet. A lot of people think narcolepsy is when you just doze off, and that is one form of it. But what it does is it messes up your sleep-wake cycles, so your body doesn't know when it's supposed to sleep and when it's not. Like even during the day, there's times where I'll be doing something, or I'll be at work, or I'm working on my barn dominium, and I just want to crawl on the floor and lay down. And I don't know if it's because I'm tired or because my body's going, yeah, you need to sleep. And then I'm supposed to go to bed at night, and my body's like, no, we're supposed to go do something. Let's go, get up. And so they think it has to do with these hormones that you release called, what's the
adenosine?
No, it's like hippocampus. No, that's part of your brain.
Part of your brain.
Or oxy something, not oxytocin. It's another one. But anyway, that gets released in your brain, into your spinal column, and that's kind of what signals sleep time. Okay. Well, they think that because during the N1H1 virus, they found people were developing narcolepsy. What was happening is they were developing an autoimmune disorder that attacked those hormones. So they weren't getting released like they should be. So all these people were coming up with narcolepsy, and they're like, whoa, what? So that's how they kind of think they have the idea of what narcolepsy is. But there's no cure, nothing they can do.
How have you managed your sleep? Because I think you sleep a little bit better.
No, I sleep a ton better.
Okay.
So I have not had a full night of insomnia in maybe 10 years. I've not had bad depression in maybe that same amount of time. Never had no suicidal stuff like I've been through. So yeah, I've regulated my sleep way better. The best thing I did is I started multiple businesses for myself. And the last one, I just started training people, doing a little bit of online, which I need to get more online clients. And before I moved to Pahrump, I had trained people out of my gym. And I just said, listen, I'm not training anybody before 10 o'clock. And I'll work until 8, I don't care. Because that schedule seems to be a little better with my sleep, where even if it takes me a long time to sleep, at least early in the morning, I will get some sleep. And that changed it a lot. And then a lot of the stuff with the book, just going, wait a minute, what's wrong with this? Why is this happening? And just working on my mentality, breathing, relaxing, meditation, all that stuff helps me to control it. I mean, it's there. I have it. It is what it is. I'm not going to not do the stuff that I want to do. I just got to find a way around it.
Question: Did either of your parents I don't know if you had siblings? Did anybody in your family have this type of sleep issue? Because when you mentioned that you didn't know until later that it was abnormal, I'm like, well, did anybody in your life see that this was abnormal, or were they like that? I
think it was my mom's uncle. They said had narcolepsy. He had you'd be talking to him and he'd zonk out narcolepsy. Yeah. No, my mom, once we started discovering, my mom's like, man, when you were little, I kept taking you to the doctor because you were tired all the time. And they just kept telling me you were a growing boy. And they ignored it. And I'm like, well, apparently it wasn't.
Okay.
And I know that because, and I kind of talk about this in the book, from about 5th grade on, I was never awake in a class. from 5th grade through college, I physically could not stay awake. And I remember my one teacher, Miss Hembrow, came up one time because I would go into school, or I taught myself basically because I slept all day. So I used to go into school early and do my homework. And my teacher came in and sat down with me, and she's like, Chad, can I ask you something? I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, what do you want to know? And she's like, do you hate my class? And I go, what? No, like, you're just my favorite class. Like, you take us to go do cadaver work. Like, we do all this cool stuff in your class.
Yeah.
Like, I love your class. And she's like, but you sleep every day. And I go, I can't help it. It's not you. Like, I sleep in every class. I cannot stay awake. It's just the way it is.
Wow.
And I talk about in my geometry class, Mr. Duncan, he used to give us these free days. And first of all, my brother's about a year and a half older. And my brother's, he's a test. He's a hellion. So Mr. Duncan knew my brother. So he calls me up one day on one of our free days just to catch up on all our work. And he's like, so Chad, you get that I know you sleep every day, right? Because I would walk in, open my book, and I'm out. And I go, yeah. I just try to not be a bother to anyone else. And he's like, but you have an A in geometry. I go, yeah. He's like, do you mind if I ask how you do that? And I go, yeah. I go home and I do the answers, the questions that have the answers in the back, the test questions. I look at the answers, then I read the question. Then I figure out how they came up with that answer.
Reverse it. Wow.
And he's like, can you show me? I go, yeah, sure. Give me a question. Give me a question and give me an answer and I'll do it. And then he gave me some other questions and he's like, well, it's not the way I teach it, but he's like, you obviously understand it and you have an A and you're not bothering anybody. And I'm sure there was something like, and you're not your brother. So,
Yeah.
Okay. We're good.
Last, I know I've been spamming questions, but my last question about this is like, it's still narcolepsy, but since you couldn't sleep at night, you were managing to get some semblance of level of sleep during the day.
Yeah.
Was it just that your body didn't want to sleep at night? I know, I don't know if you've gotten these questions like this before. You probably have, but.
Yeah, no, they're good questions because it's crazy. Like even when I stop and think about it, I'm like, this is nuts.
Yeah.
How was I awake that long?
Uh-huh.
Like, it's crazy. And after that competition, I'm like, and you can ask Ethan. Like, I don't know how Ethan knows me the way he does, but he knows me. Like, there was a point when I would walk in the gym and Ethan would be like, nope, you're not fucking lifting today, man. Not happening. And at first I fought it big time.
Like, no, I'm okay.
And eventually I was like, all right, son of a bitch, this sucks. Okay, I'm not training today. Like, he got to where he could just see it in me. And so he knows. And like that, the long stint that I did that meet. So the next day I get up and I have to go do a photo shoot. So I'm not good. I'm not good. I know I'm not good. I suck it up. I go do my photo shoot. I come back. Ethan's like, all right, we got to get on a plane, man. We got to go to the airport. Let's go. I go, no, you've got to give me 10 minutes, man. Like, I got to lay down, dude. I won't make it. Mm-hmm. So he goes, all right, lay down for 10 minutes. And like, we're walking through the airport and all of a sudden I just go, I'm just sweating. And I'm like, Ethan, we got to stop, dude. I will literally pass out on the floor right now. I got to stop, man. And like him and Carla's freaking out because she wants to make the plane. And so we stop and I get on the plane and I'm just sitting there like this. And like the stewardess has come by and I hear Ethan go, "Psst." Like, just leave him alone.
Yeah.
Just leave him be. And so I'm freaking out. And this is part of why I wrote the book, because this is all about mentality. So I get home and I open the door and my little niece comes hauling ass across the room, jumps in my arms. She wants to play. All I want to do is lay down. And I'm like, she doesn't get what I'm going through. Like, I got to play. I'm not going to disappoint her. Mm-hmm. So you just do what you got to do. I mean, there is, to me, like, maybe people think it's impressive. I'm not saying it's impressive that I live with this. I'm just saying I do what I got to do. I don't go to work. I don't pay my bills. Doesn't matter if I'm tired. Doesn't matter if I'm insane. Doesn't matter if my vision is blurry because my eyes are too tired to actually focus. It doesn't matter if I can't do simple multiplication and I have to use my phone. Like, it doesn't matter that the numbers above the beer that I unload, I can't see it. Like my vision is so bad, I can't read it. Well, I just got to know. Like I gotta do what I gotta do. Like there isn't any, oh, poor me. There isn't. It's just like, this is what I got to do.
Yeah.
You don't get to walk around with like a card and then everyone just excuses you unless you just get through life without having to pay your bills and so on.
And then luckily at work, they kind of, people kind of learned that. So I would come in and I wouldn't talk to anybody. And people learned it, like, just, dude, if Chad says hello to you, say something in the back. If he doesn't, don't, just leave him be. And to the point, okay, so somebody asked me this the other day. I've had 3 normal nights of sleep my adult life. I remember all 3 of them. One of them, there was this supplement that worked twice. And I took like 40 containers, and for some reason it worked twice. I slept through my alarm. And I woke up like an hour late and called and I'm like, shit, I'm late. Like, I can't be late, man. So I hurried up and called my boss, and I'm like, dude, I don't know what happened. Somehow I slept through my alarm. I'll be right. He's like, whoa, wait a minute. Did you say you slept? I go, yeah. He's like, go back to bed. We'll deal with it. Like, if you slept, go back to bed, man. I mean, that's how bad it was that even the people I work for know how screwed up it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, like years ago, there was a couple supplements that they got rid of because they let them out for a little while, and then they were, it was a date rape drug. I think it was. Yes. Right? That's what it was, right?
Well, that was actually Somatomax by High Tech Pharmaceuticals.
Okay.
But they got busted for having labs in like Brazil and stuff and having real stuff in there, which I found out about. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to my doctor and I'm going to get some Somos and I'm going to try to mix this stuff up. And so like I've taken every drug possible. And the only thing that really worked was super high levels of Seroquel. I mean, like schizophrenic type doses of Seroquel. But it didn't really make me sleep. It just kind of knocked me out.
I wonder, like,
but honestly, at the time, that's what I took a lot when I was lifting, because at least I'm in bed and I'm not awake, you know. But like people told me I woke up different in the morning, and I would wake up groggy and miserable. And
GHB, did you ever get your hands on that one?
So here's another one, and you can look this up too, and they will say I'm wrong. I got some GHB. Now there is Xerum, which is basically GHB, and it costs like $40,000 a year, but it's basically, it's GHB. And they found out that it does help with some sleep issues. So I got my hands on some illegally because I couldn't afford it medically. And after I had to give it to my friend afterwards because it didn't work. And he's like, dude, that shit messed me up, man. I just was sitting in a chair drooling for like 8 hours after that.
Oh my God.
But so I took it, and I'm always trying to be somewhat smart with it, somewhat. And so I started low and titrated myself up. The last night I took 14 grams of GHB and watched TV all night.
That sounds like it's a lot. Of GHB.
I think 7 will kill you or can kill you. But I have a crazy tolerance. Even when they try to knock me out for surgeries, they have a hard time.
What are you finding over there, Ryan?
I just put in how much GHB can kill you. It says these numbers are not precise thresholds, and people have died at lower amounts. 1 to 2 grams is noticeable sedation in most people. 4 to 6 grams is high risk of unconsciousness and slowed breathing.
Yeah.
Your physiology is something else.
It's some weird shit going on there.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so think about this, though. Maybe my physiology isn't that weird. Maybe it's because I'm not sleeping.
Right.
And so it finds some other weird-ass way to adapt.
There we go, though. Like, you have some adaptations that the rest of us don't have, because if 4 to 6 grams of GHB kills somebody and you took double and you're just chilling watching TV.
And then to make sure it was good, I gave it to some of my friends that like to experiment with stuff. And they're like, holy shit, dude, this shit's crazy.
Wow. Do you think it was like a multitude of things that helped you with your sleep, helping you to have better sleep now? Like you had to like find like an inner peace, maybe like letting go of powerlifting, maybe dropping weight, like different health practices.
No, the weight never affected it. I mean, it did help. Like I got off my CPAP. It helped with the apnea. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of things, but what, like I tried to explain earlier with my training partners, I think what happened is the sleep that I dealt with most of my life, but I never really knew I had a sleep problem. I honestly, I didn't know people went to bed and woke up in the morning. That still to me is, other than my three nights, that seems crazy to me. How do you lay down and wake up in the morning? That's insane.
It is a weird, I mean, sleep is a weird thing.
I mean, like I'm up
really
hundreds of times a night, like hundreds.
I mean, if we put this into context, like you've lived longer than your age. At this
I
point,
say that all the time. I say that all the time. I go, I'm twice as old as you think I am.
Most of us are asleep. Dogs awake in
And
cemeteries.
I'm up,
taking
and I'm up,
pictures.
and after a while, I'm starting to think.
Yeah.
But I think powerlifting, and I hate saying this because it wasn't powerlifting that messed me up. It was that I didn't know. I think I overtrained, and then I kept overtraining, and that made it worse. And so I needed to kind of back off, get my mental health better, let my body heal up to at least kind of get back to where I was.
This is making a lot of sense now because, yeah,
And that's when
the input of the central nervous system, you're just smashing your central nervous system every time you train really heavy.
Yeah, and I'm making it worse, and I'm making it worse, and I'm making it worse. And that's why I've always, I guess I've always had kind of a fascination with suicide. Not that I ever wanted to kill myself, but I was kind of like, well, why? Why do we live? Why don't we live? What happens when we die? Like that kind of well, what if you kill yourself, then so I always had that kind of fascination. Never wanted to kill myself till my sleep got bad. My sleep got worse. Insane depression took over. Then the suicidal stuff took over. But all of a sudden, now that I get my sleep better, none of that happens. And like I said, I got diagnosed. I watched this. I was thinking about this the other day. Somehow I was listening to Adam Ant. You guys know Adam Ant?
I don't.
You don't know Adam Ant? Oh man, you don't know Adam Ant? The singer, English singer.
No, I don't know.
Oh,
maybe if I heard a song. Or something, maybe.
He's super popular. Well, anyway, they did this documentary about him called I think it was the Fall of Prince Charming or something like that, and it's all about he was bipolar and went like kind of loopy. And I'm watching this documentary, and I'm going, like Goody Two Shoes is one of his big songs. I'm watching this documentary, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute! I'm freaking out watching this documentary because the things he's talking about, I'm like, yes. And then they're talking to his friends, and his friends are saying stuff about him that my friends say about me. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell? What's going on? And I go, I wonder if I'm bipolar. Because I didn't care. Tell me whatever it is. Give me an idea how to fix this. Because even during my suicidal episodes, I describe it as I'm sitting in a chair with a loaded gun to my head, trying to think of a reason why I shouldn't do it. Because I just want to get rid of the pain. I just want it to stop, man. And it's bad. It's bad. But I'm also floating above myself, screaming at myself, going, this isn't you, man. This is not you. Whatever your brain is telling you is not the truth. And so I'm having this inner conflict. And it's like, but I just want the pain to stop, man. I just want this darkness and this, I just want it over, man. I can't keep going like this. And I'm screaming at myself. And luckily, and this is, I thought about this the other day when one of my friends did a post. One of the reasons I was able to not do that is because I have been training my brain for my whole life. And there's at least a little part of my brain that said, Chad, this is not real. You know who you are, and you know this is not you. Do not follow through with this. And somehow I got myself to not do it. And eventually there was an episode where I went, shit or get off the pot. I'm done. Pull the fucking trigger or don't do this ever again. And that was when I sat down and wrote that long letter on my training log on Elite. And everybody thought I was nuts. So anyway, I did that. And then it was like, but as soon as my sleep gets better, I'm not having these episodes of this shit anymore. And that's kind of where you go down the whole rabbit hole of, I honestly think one of these medical communities that actually really want to help people need to get in contact with people like me. and go, hey, you went through this. What do you think? Because I'm like, dude, you have anybody with bad depression, go do sleep studies. And I found a study one time, and I regret not saving it because I've never been able to find it since then. They did a study on people with fibromyalgia, which, you know, is like that phantom pain, and a lot of doctors say it's not real. Well, I found a study where they did sleep studies on these people. Turns out they don't get deep sleep like me. So are they really having pain? Is this a problem of them having neurological pain, or their central nervous system being screwed up because they don't get deep sleep and it doesn't heal?
I know for me, if I don't sleep,
what's the root cause?
I'm in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
Like if I have a night or two where I don't sleep, but my body is sore, I'm stiff. I'm like,
yes.
I'm like, what did I do training wise? And I don't even remember.
Yeah. You're not recovering. That's why.
Right. Exactly. And it throws everything off. And then it throwing off your mental side. We know about your decision-making skills just going all to hell.
Yeah.
So the types of food that you eat, all your other inputs are going to be a disaster. Your ability to like get outside and go on a walk and be cheerful and be like, yeah, I got to go on a run today, or I got to go, you know, do this thing that's healthy for me today. You're not going to be so chipper about it because you haven't slept.
Yeah. And that's the point where, like the video that Merrick Health posted about you guys the other day, where it's there's this like point where it's like, you shouldn't have to truly force yourself to do this stuff. Like you should enjoy it, because if you don't enjoy it, you're just not going to do it your whole life. Like it needs to be a way of life, and you need to find a way to enjoy it. But there's also some cases where you need to just be mentally tough and go, hey, listen, I need to do this. And to me, that was one of the hardest things about training, is going, do I need to do this? Should I not do this? Do I want to do this? Because there's times where you might go, man, you know, today's max effort day, but man, I just don't feel right. Something doesn't feel right. But you still need to go train. And that's like the auto regulation is really tough, because you're trying to decide. And if you're somebody like me, like I know that my brain's going to play tricks on me. I know that when I'm not sleeping and when my mind is messed up. Okay, so writing this book, for example, I was dealing with some sleep issues during writing this book because of the whole barn dominium and the build, and I got just a lot of things going on. There's times where I'm writing that book and I'm like, this sucks. Chad, you're stupid. What makes you think you can write a book? You're an idiot. Like nothing you say makes sense. And then I got to go, no, Chad, hold on, wait a minute. You know you're tired. You know you like think about how you feel and think about what's going on. This is your brain messing with you. And, you know, and then I get a couple nights of decent sleep and I'm like, oh man, that chapter was pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, and I can kind of see like, I'm not, I don't think I'm a genius and I wrote like the book of the century or anything, but you know, I can at least see the positivity in it. And then the same thing with my barn dominium. If I feel good and I get sleep, I'm like, I can figure this out, man. I can do this. Yeah. I can do this. And when my sleep's horrible and I'm struggling with depression, I'm like, who do you think you are? What makes you think you can do this? You've never built a house before. And that's when I got to go find my logic and go, yeah, but other people do it. They're no better than you. You're all the same. You can do this, you know? And so it's a fight. And I think everybody goes through that. It's not just me. It's not just people with narcolepsy. I mean, I've heard the other day, you posted the video that kind of started this whole me coming out here thing, where you talked about, it was the funny video with me sniffing ammonia. And you actually said there was a point where you're like, I don't
He used to have 2 ammonia caps in his nose, ampules, 2 ammonia caps in his nose like this. And then he would like, when he was getting ready, he would like break both of them open just snort them. And I never seen anybody, you know how hard that it is to be like, you know, you kind of like, you barely open the thing and you go, and you like almost die and you go back for a little bit more. He would shove these things like right in his nostrils. I've never seen anything like it.
Did you ever see Gary Frank?
I have, but I don't remember him using
no, Gary Frank would buy a bottle of ammonia and he would sit on his chair and he'd go and like the ammonia would be bubbling up. And I'm like, even me, I go, okay, that can't be good for your brain. Like, yeah, I'll shove them on my nose, but that cannot be good.
Yeah, Gary Frank was in another realm with his strength. First guy to do 26, 27, 2,800 pounds.
But I mean, even you admit there was a point at 700 pounds, you're like, holy shit, I can't do this.
Right.
You know, and then I think you squatted over 1,000, didn't you?
Yeah, 1,080. Yeah.
Yeah. So you went on to do another 300 pounds, and then you did these crazy bench presses. Like, so you had to fight through that and go, wait a minute. Yeah, my brain's saying this, but it's not true. Like, there's another way around this. So it's not like, it's not me. Everybody does it. I think I think that's a misconception a lot of people make about high level athletes. Oh, well, it was easy for them. They never struggled. They never did this. And I went, I don't think so. And
just real briefly, I talked recently on a video about how I did a 705 squat, and I thought I was like, that's probably it. Like, that's about as much as I'll probably ever do, because it just felt so hard. I felt like my head was going to explode. And then I think you were competing at the same meet, or maybe you competed at another meet soon thereafter, and I saw you handling 1,000+ pounds and stuff, and I was like, oh, well, wait a second, like, maybe if I just give myself time, maybe I'll be able to handle weights the way that he's handling weights.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's where that logic comes in. I mean, we all fight that stuff, but the gentleman that just climbed that tower in Dubai,
Alex Honnold.
Yeah, that guy's absolutely amazing. So I watched an interview with him because my brother was always an extreme athlete. And I think I write about this in the book. And that's where, again, like at some point you got to sign it, because you know what, you're going to change. Like, everything changes. You're going to keep growing and expanding. But I wrote in this book about my brother and I'm like, I truly think he doesn't feel fear like other people, because my brother's crazy. Like, he'll do anything, man. And like, if he's not on the edge, he's not happy. So like, if I'm rappelling down a cliff and I'm like freaking out, and I go, Lance, if I fall, I'm going to live just long enough to kick your ass for having me do this, And my brother gets happier the crazier and more extreme it is. So I always had this idea that he just doesn't feel fear the same way. And the whole principle of that was like, what's true courage? Is true courage not feeling fear, or feeling fear and overcoming it? But Alex, I was watching an interview with him, and he goes, everybody talks about the fear, but what they don't realize is that I have a lifetime of pushing past fear. So at some point, he's used to it. So it doesn't seem hard to him. He's still pushing past it, but he's used to it. He's done it so many times. And that actually made me rethink my brother in the situation. My brother's still crazy, but.
Well, even with thinking of like Alex Honnold, like, if you just to think about it, like maybe just in more logical terms, is there really that much of a difference? Although it looks quite different, of being, I don't know, 30 feet, 40 feet off the ground versus being like 100. Like, you're either way, you fall, you're going to be in like a lot of trouble, right? So even once you get up maybe 12 feet or so, it's like, man, if you fall from that, you have a misstep at 12 feet. Yeah, okay, your chances of survival are a lot higher than if you're at 100 feet. But that's probably how over time you do get used to it, and then also. Him getting himself out of these like precarious situations over and over and over again.
Yeah, you build confidence.
He's teaching himself like, I'm going to be okay. I just have to be able to. What I kind of marvel at is like, I just think about like, what about a leg cramp, or like, what if he has like a little bit of like a blood sugar issue, or does he have a snack with him, or he's got like no water, he's got
I think somebody asked, what do you do if you got to poop?
Like, man, maybe just.
Pucker.
Takes care of it like some of the runners do.
So that actually reminds me of a story when I think it was Chester from Lincoln Park, when he committed suicide. One of my friends at work came up and he's like, "Did you hear about Chester? That son of a bitch. He's got kids, blah blah blah." And I go, "Oh, wait a minute, man. You don't know what he was going through." And so it's always I was always open about my depression and my suicide, because if I can help people, I think it kind of makes it worthwhile. It means it was a gift for me, because now I can help people. And especially, I feel so bad for people that survive someone that commits suicide, because that guilt has just got to be overwhelming, and they really don't need to feel that. And they shouldn't feel that. I'm not saying it's bad. You shouldn't feel it. I'm saying you don't have to. So anyway, I told my buddy, I go, all right, listen, go back to work, meet me back here in 30 minutes. I go, I gotta get this in my mind to explain this to you. And he came back, and we have these yellow lines on the floor. And I go, do you see that yellow line on the floor? He's like, yes. I go, do you think you could walk that line without falling off of it? He's like, yeah, no problem. It's like 8 inches thick. Yeah, easy. Okay, what if it was 20 feet in the air? Oh yeah, I could do that easy. I go, what if it was 4 stories in the air? He's like, probably not. And I go, why? And he's like, because my mind would be telling me, like, don't do this. This is dangerous. Don't do it. And I go, now you think about somebody else who their body is telling them to commit suicide in the same aggressive way that your body is telling you not to do that. I'm not saying it's right, not saying it's logical. I'm just saying this is what the people that I've talked to and me coming out about it, I've been able to talk to a lot of people about it. This is what it's all the same for a lot of us.
That's how strong that feeling is.
Yeah, it's this feeling telling you this is the only way it's going to stop.
Stuff like that really fascinates me a lot too, because if you're thinking about, like, if you go like as wide as this table, right?
Yeah.
And you put this table up 50 feet and you walk across it, you're like, well, it's pretty wide. It's like, multiple feet wide. And if it was long enough to reach the other side, shouldn't be a problem. But you keep up in the ante and keep putting it up higher. Yeah. It's like, nah, I'd rather not. Because I think with no sides on it, I'm going to kind of like, for whatever reason, I'm going to be panicking. I'm going to be like down low, or maybe I would crawl across it. Yeah. So I have more like contact with the rest of my body.
I was laughing at myself building my barn dominium because it's only one level. But I mean, there's times where I'm up in the trusses and stuff. And I'm like, why am I shaking? Like, if I was on the ground, I wouldn't be shaking. Why am I shaking right now? And like, because you just get it in your head, and you're so focused on the possibilities of bad things happening.
Yeah.
And that's why for me, climbing up a rock and a cliff, I can climb up it easy. Coming back down sucks because I'm looking at what could happen. When I'm going up, I'm just like, what's next? What's next?
I cut you off a little earlier. You were mentioning like kind of what sparked our conversation on the phone and what sparked you to come out here. I made a post and I was talking about like how long, should you be mad at a particular situation?
Yes. That was fascinating to me because that's the information I want to get out there to people. And I think that in all realms of life, if you're just trying to if you're just trying to make a harmonious life, or you're trying to reach a goal, whether that be a relationship, a business, like controlling your emotions is going to be a huge thing. And people, it seems like in today's society, we're more relying on the external world. And we got to stop, man. It all comes from inside. If you're relying on the external world to make you happy, or you're blaming it for making you sad, your whole future is up to the external world. You're not in control of it. And you did that. You did 2 videos. You did that video, which was like, I think you were talking about traffic or something. You're like, well, how long should I be mad? Like, it's the same thing. Like when I talk about it in the book, where when I first learned about that, it's easy to go, well, that person did this. All they did is they did a thing. Somebody punches me in the face. They just punched me in the face. My emotions are my responsibility. And if I don't want to be mad, why am I letting myself be mad?
Yeah.
And I think it really is as simple as that, or going, hey, that person is taking my control. If I'm letting them change my mood, they're taking my control. And especially in a relationship. Now, if you want to bring this down to strength athletes, which I love to do, I love to take everything back to lifting because I've learned so much through lifting. You don't get strong in the gym. You stimulate growth in the gym. You get strong when you recover, and you recover outside the gym. If you are in a stressful situation, if you're letting the world control your emotions all day long, that means you're in fight or flight all day long. And the problem is that we were developed with fight or flight to save us from a dinosaur or a lion or something like that. So we're like, oh shit, there's a lion. Bam, go run. You get away from him and you're like, oh, whew, cool, we're good. Yeah. I'm back. Just got to figure out how to get some food, man. But nowadays we have that same system, but it's in this weird life. So your boss is the lion and he's on you 8 hours a day. So you have 8 hours in high stress because you're worried about the external world. How are you supposed to recover from your training sessions if you're in fight or flight all day long, if you're in a sympathetic state compared to a parasympathetic state? And now the funny part is if you go back to Pumping Iron, Arnold talks about that, not in those terms, but talks about I can't let things bother me. The reason he needed to recover. For me, and this was something I learned after lifting, I did that based on what I learned watching Pumping Iron, but I never thought about it. After I kind of wasn't competing, somebody says, dude, isn't life so much better now that you're not competing? I go, fuck no. I go, it sucks. I'm stressed about bills now. I'm trying to make money and all this other stuff. And I went, well, wait a minute. My outside's life the same as it was when I competed. Like, wait a minute, what's going on? And that's when I went, oh, I didn't let it bother me before because I had a reason to not, I need to recover. And then when I didn't have an event, I started letting all the world in the external world start controlling me.
In terms of your training partners, we were talking in the gym on how like you won't let certain people train when you see if they look a certain way or they come to the gym and they're complaining about something when it comes to like hunger, appetite, etc. I find it interesting that you, again, through your whole competition career, you never really had great sleep, but it's still you didn't let that affect how you went about working with other people and understanding its importance. And it's just the interesting thing is like, I feel like you've never been able to really feel what amazing sleep feels like. It's always been subpar for you. So when you get something okay, 3 nights, all right, 3 nights, right? But it's you didn't let your experience muddle the importance of it for your athletes and the people you work with.
Yes. I mean, actually, I it's funny because you'll have the haters that say you're complaining. I'm not complaining about the stuff I have. I'm just informing people. And I'm trying to get them to understand, like, listen, it's just more extreme for me. It doesn't mean it's not for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said earlier, we think when little kids are crabby and bitchy, we go, oh, they just need a nap. And then for some reason, an adult doesn't go through that same thing. Like they do. We've all seen it.
Well, take your nap.
Yeah. Like take a nap, dude. I guarantee when you wake up, and I've seen it. I've seen people take a nap and you're like, oh, okay. It's like that hungry, what do they call it? Hangry? Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So like somehow we completely missed that that's a possibility. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it was like, hey, listen, I don't want my worst enemy to go through the things I went through.
Yeah.
It would be more kind to put a bullet in somebody's head than to put them through what I went through. So I'm going to do everything I can to make this experience a positive. And I can do that by helping other people. The problem is it's hard to get people to listen because they want to hear work harder, do more.
Yeah.
And they're not listening. And I did the same thing. I did the same thing. I loved Mike Mentzer growing up. It was funny to go back and start reading Mike Mentzer again after powerlifting because I was like, wow, I jacked that up. All I heard was train more and train harder. Like I heard train till you can't like move.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I do it again tomorrow.
And he was talking about 40 minutes a couple times a week.
Yeah. I'm doing it for 3 hours every single day. And I'm like, wow, I missed my brain was like, I'm taking what I want from this.
Yeah.
And I go, no wonder I wasn't stronger when I was a kid. Like I probably would have been so much stronger if I would have just like understood the recovery portion of it. So I get it. And I love beating myself up. Like I love going into the gym and that euphoric feeling after a training session where you're so exhausted, you just lay on the floor, but you feel amazing. And you're like, dude, I didn't want to train, but I just did this killer session. Like it's such a great feeling. Like I love that feeling. But if you really want to get better, you got to learn to control that. Like there is a point, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Like, and if you can't recover from it, don't do it.
When you say recover, actually, that's an interesting thing because like people will, everybody has their different rates of recovery or what they look like or what they think for themselves is recovery. So when you say recovery, what does that mean?
It means, well, there's the recovery of, say the axon, was it the axon and the dendrite of the nerve and the ATP? There's the recovery of all those hormones and chemicals that need to be replaced.
Gotcha.
There's the recovery of the fluids and everything in your muscle. And then there's the growth. Did I actually grow? Like, so if you recover, if your muscles recover and your central nervous system recovers and you go train again, you're interrupting the growth phase. Like, so to me, recovery is like when you're ready to train again.
Yeah.
And again, that's going to be different for everybody. And I love the example of, I know you worked with Stan Efforting a lot. I went to one of Stan's seminars and he's like, yeah, I love to train every day. So I make sure I'm in bed by like, it was 8 o'clock or something like that. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. Like he earns his right to train.
Yeah.
Like I'd never thought of it in that way. Like you want to train tomorrow? Don't get to bed. You don't get to train.
6 meals a day, making sure you got all the right nutrients.
Yeah, making sure you're getting tons of meals. Because a lot of people, and I did this too, especially when I was younger, like, what's just about training? I got to tear the muscle and it'll grow. I wasn't thinking about food. I wasn't thinking about sleep. Like that was my hard-headed blue collar thinking of like, the harder the job is, the more proud I am.
Well, and you're only doing what's like fun to you, right? Maybe maybe for one person the food's not as fun, or the dedication to sleep, they'd rather watch movies or whatever.
And I'm actually doing the easy part. Right. I tell people to this day, and I get shit for this too. I love all the shit I get shit for. The hardest part about becoming a top level power lifter was not training as much. That was fucking hard for me. And that was why another thing. Here's another thing I learned from Louis. When it came, Dave Tate called me out on it. Like you can train as hard every day and do that, and that's fine. Or you can be one of the best in the world. What do you want to do? And I sometimes I need very blunt, hit me on the head type statements. And that was one where I went, oh shit. All right, okay, all right, shit. Let me think about that. Yeah, okay, yeah, all right. And then I'm like, what am I going to do? How am I going to convince myself?
That's a little bit hard for you to follow, especially because your issues with your sleep, and then you were only training sometimes only like twice a week, right?
That's deceptive too. For a long time, I thought of training in terms of like the real sessions. So like I'm training twice a week. So I would tell people I train twice a week. Actually, I was training every day, but there was only 2 that I considered like real sessions. So what I learned is when I came to this, I go, okay, I gotta play some games with my brain here. Like I can't only be in the gym 2 days a week. Like I go nuts. Like, cause for a long time I used the gym to control my anger issues. So that's, I ended up talking to Louis and reading some of Louis' stuff, and he was doing timed work at the time. And so I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. Like maybe I need to start doing these recovery sessions and adding in more GPP sessions. So that way, and I honestly, I didn't do it because I thought it would work. I did it because, okay, I'm in the gym. It's not killing my central nervous system. And maybe I can like, Chad, you're in the gym today. It's all okay. The world's fine. You at least went to the gym today. You got something done. And then I found out that, holy shit, this actually helps my recovery a lot.
What's the time stuff?
Basically, you go in there. This is pretty funny. Louis was starting with 3 and 4 minutes. So you would go in there and go, okay, I bench pressed yesterday. I'm going to start with dumbbells, and I'm going to do reps for 4 minutes. I'm going to set an alarm for 4 minutes. So we're going to do a rep every 7 to 10 seconds. Never going to completely lock out. And so I'm like, hundreds, 120s. It's 4 minutes, whatever. Yeah, it did not work out at all. Yeah. So the idea is for 4 minutes, dude, you can't do a lot of weight.
Yeah, you need like 40 pounds, maybe.
Yeah. And you're dying at the end of that. And so you're going to go here. I'm never going to fully lock it. I'm going to hold it here. I'm going to come down. I'm going to try to do a rep every 7 to 10 seconds, go up. And I'm pausing at the top and the bottom, but not completely locking them out. And I'm not resting it on my chest. And so you just get this huge blood flow pump. Mm-hmm. But it's not killing your central nervous system. And it's not stressing your muscles. It's basically just this huge flush of nutrients throughout your muscles. And
Louis got some of that too. As Louis started training and working with more people, he worked with people like Laura Phelps. And Laura Phelps, broke many all-time world records. And Laura had a gymnastics background. Like I think she was like a pretty high-level gymnast.
Yes.
And Louis was like, okay, well, what's this about? Okay, well, she was doing a lot of handstands, a lot of push-ups, a lot of calisthenics, a lot of body weight exercises, and the West Side guys probably aren't going to do as much calisthenics, and so he just tried to figure out a way. And Dave had those push-up things from like a million years ago that were kind of like the TRX stuff that came out later on. Yeah, what's that?
Is the perfect push-up?
No, not the perfect push-up, but like TRX straps.
It's like a suspended push-up.
Dave Tate had something similar Probably 10 years.
Funny
10
enough,
years prior to that.
I developed recovery sessions with just rings or just the TRX, and it's goofy as shit, but it works.
Yeah, it really helps, And so anyway, he just observed that these people have really high levels of GPP. They just were really prepared for what it was they were doing, and then so he just tried to, all right, hey, Chad, why don't you go drag the sled for 5 minutes straight?
Yeah.
Walk forward with it, walk backwards with it, and then come in and do the dumbbell presses for 4 minutes, stuff like that. And you work your ass off, and it feels great.
Yeah, I've seen people who have trouble getting through a full powerlifting meet. You add that stuff in their next meet, they're like, hey, that wasn't bad, man. I'm not completely exhausted after this meet.
Yeah,
it's it does help it. And this is it. Talking training is so interesting to me because there are the people that just simply are not stimulating growth hard enough. They just don't go hard enough.
Yeah.
So when I say these things, I'm like, dude, some idiot's going to be out there going, Chad said do less. No, not for you. For you, no, you need to do more. And when you're young, you can do more. When you're new, you can do more. Like the more advanced you get, the better technique you get. So the more you can get out of your body. You have better recruitment through your muscles and through your central nervous system, so you can push your body further. Like in reality, and I always talk about, I struggle with a lot of stuff in life because people that are dirt bags that make millions of dollars. People that work really hard, they're really good people that just struggle all the time. Like what fairness is there in life? The gym has always seemed fair to me. If you're smart and you work hard, you will get better. No, you might not have the genetics to be the best in the world. Like I wanted to put up the all-time total. I didn't. I got really damn close. So I'm not disappointed in myself at all. But there can only be one top guy. So I mean, okay, maybe that's not fair, but that's part of life. Lifting is fair though. If you do the work, you do the time, you do it right. And even I can go back and go the times where I didn't make the gains that I thought I would make, it's because I wasn't doing it right. I hadn't learned enough. Now, if you look at the journey of an athlete from beginning to a high level, you actually end up training less. And so at your highest, you train less, but still get strong. Does that not seem right? Does that not make sense? Listen, you worked your ass off. You trained all this time. Your reward is you can do less and keep that. Does that not seem fair? That seems totally fair to me. That seems awesome to me.
Yeah.
But we have trouble embracing that and we want to do more. Well, I did more to get here. Okay, well, you don't need more. Now you need less. I mean, I even heard Dorian Yates, one of the things he said, I love Dorian Yates. I've never got to meet him yet, but I want to. He was like, one of the first things I do with people that are in a plateau, take 2 weeks off.
Yep. And
I've done that. Guys are like, I'm benching 5 days a week now because I can't get stronger. And I'm like, dude, 2 days wasn't making you stronger, so you thought 3 would. And that didn't work, so you thought 4 would. And now you think 5 will? I'm like, take a month off. What do? They hit a PR their first day back. Like, dude, you're not... For certain people and for aggressive people, the stimulation of growth is easy. The recovery is the hard part. For lazy people, the recovery is easy. They can't push themselves. I had a guy, I was helping a guy one time, like he was pretty weak. So I'm like, I can't let you train with the team. You're not enough.
Yeah.
I go, but we'll help you. And so I had him do good mornings and we moved on to our other stuff on the other side of the gym. And I keep peeking over and finally he's at like 225 or something. And I'm like, dude, he's got more to go before we even need to spot him. And the next thing I know, I peek over and he's done. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Why is the bar unloaded? Oh, I'm done. I go, it's max effort day. Oh yeah, my technique fell apart, so I just quit. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not going to work, dude. Like you have to literally push yourself. And did your technique fall apart because you can't handle the weight or just because you're not focused and have your head in it?
I will never go to a doctor ever again about my general health. All they want to do is put you on pills.
Really well said there by Dana White. Couldn't agree with him more. A lot of us are just trying to get jacked and tan. A lot of us just want to look good, feel good. And a lot of the symptoms that we might acquire as we get older, some of the things that we might have, high cholesterol or these various things, it's amazing to have somebody looking at your blood work as you're going through the process, as you're trying to become a better athlete, somebody that knows what they're doing. They can look at your cholesterol. They can look at the various markers that you have. and they can kind of see where you're at, and they can help guide you through that.
And there's a few aspects too where it's like, yes, I mean, no shade to doctors, but a lot of times they do want to just stick you on medication. A lot of times there is supplementation that can help with this. At Merrick Health, these patient care coordinators are going to also look at the way you're living your lifestyle, because there's a lot of things you might be doing that if you just adjust that, boom, you could be at the right levels, including working with your testosterone.
And there's so many people that I know that are looking for, they're like, hey, should I do that? They're very curious. And they think that testosterone is going to all of a sudden kind of turn them into the Hulk. But that's not really what happens. It can be something that can be really great for your health, because you can just basically live your life a little stronger, just like you were maybe in your 20s and 30s.
Mm-hmm. And this is the last thing to keep in mind, guys. When you get your blood work done at a hospital, they're just looking at like these minimum levels. At Merrick Health, they try to bring you up to ideal levels for everything you're working with. Whereas if you go into a hospital and you have 300 nanograms per deciliter of test, you're good, bro, even though you're probably feeling like shit. At Merrick Health, they're going to try to figure out what things you can do in terms of your lifestyle. And if you're a candidate, potentially TRT. So these are things to pay attention to get you to your best self.
And what I love about it is a little bit of the back and forth that you get with the patient care coordinator. They're dissecting your blood work. It's not like you just get this email back and it's just like, hey, try these 5 things. Somebody's actually on the phone with you, going over every step and what you should do. Sometimes it's supplementation, sometimes it's TRT, and sometimes it's simply just some lifestyle habit changes.
All right, guys, if you want to get your blood work checked and also get professional help from people who are going to be able to get you towards your best levels, head to merrickhealth.com and use code POWERPROJECT for 10% off any panel of your choice.
And there's a lot of people like that. And those people, a person like that's going to go, oh, Chad, so do less.
It takes a long time.
No, not for you.
Yeah, it takes a long time to get good at powerlifting, and it takes a long time to like refine your technique and all that. And so it's going to take people a while. But back to your point about the recovery and all the different things you're talking about, it still ends up going back to sometimes you train so hard, and I think people don't realize this part of it. Sometimes you train so hard that it messes up your sleep.
Yes. It can complete, and I've seen
your food can mess up your sleep. Your watching of TV can mess, like all your inputs from the day. We got to stop thinking about circadian rhythm as like when you wake up and when you go to sleep. Your circadian rhythm has to do all the inputs that you have for a day and all the different things that you're doing within a given day. And so when you start to think about it that way, you could be, by you going to the gym today, this extra day that you wanted to do, you want to start going 6 days a week or whatever, it could have a negative impact on your sleep. And just knowing that is it's nice to know that, so you can say, I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week and put in a little bit more effort, but I'm just going to do it for this period of time. And then when that period of time's over, then maybe you move back into doing something more logical.
Well, it's interesting what you said too about food. And if you don't eat enough, if you're training hard and you're not eating enough, I don't know if there's ever been a study on this or not, but I've seen that affects people's sleep as well. And I know it affects mine.
I mean, you're going to be wanting to search for food. So why would you want to go to sleep?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if your body's not recovering, it can't do what it needs to do. Our sleep is all based off of, again, hormones and all that stuff. So if you're not getting enough vitamin D, if your hormones are out of whack from overtraining, yeah, of course it's going to affect your sleep. I mean, it makes complete sense. But all that's a factor in. And I see a lot of people kind of doing what I did when I first started lifting and just focusing on the lifting. And they want to know, and I use for an example of this. I would see you try a new lift or something in the gym. I'd see a video of it, and I'd go into the gym and I'd see somebody trying it, and I'm like, oh, I gotta like start some shit. I gotta see, and I would go up and be like, hey, what's that movement you're doing? I've never seen that before. Like, oh yeah, I just saw this. Like Mark Bell did this. I'm like, cool. Like, what's it working? They're like, I don't know. It looked fun. Mark Bell was doing it. I go, well, how are you fitting it into your program? Well, I'm just doing it today. And what's it working? I don't know. It's cool though. And I'm like, so I just walk away shaking my head like, so you have no idea. Like you don't know what it works. You don't know how to fit it into your program. You don't know what sets and reps. You don't know if it's a max effort. What the hell's going on, man? Like, you know, that person is probably not doing anything with their nutrition, sleep, or anything else as well. And it just baffles my brain. Like, even when I was wrong, I was trying. Like, you know, I learned reading bodybuilding books back in the day because we didn't have the internet or none of this. Mm-hmm. So I would read, here's the exercise, here's what it works, here's a description of it, here's a picture before, if I'm lucky, a picture in the middle and a picture after. And I got to figure it out. But I at least knew what it was working. And if I did it and I didn't feel it in my lats and it said I should feel it in my lats, I'm not doing it right. I got to fix something. We're now in the modern day, it seems like people just repeat what they see. And they have no idea what it's doing or why they're doing it. And it just blows my mind.
For you, do you think you needed some time away from lifting to sort of repair your mindset and to repair your sleep? Did you need to attack sleep the way that you attacked lifting in some way? Like almost make sleep your job? Or were you healing
So here's what happened. The last meet I did was at Diablo. No, it wasn't the last meet I did. I think I did another bench meet at your thing. But after I did the 27:33 and then I did that 12:21 squat that got turned down, that was the meet I was going to break the all-time record because my bench training was so outstanding going into that meet. I made the mistake of going, okay, you just got to go harder. You just got to go a little bit harder and you got it. So I did that. And that was the worst thing I could have done. Worst decision I ever made in powerlifting. I should have went, hey, Chad, you're there. Back off, bro.
Yeah.
So we went to that meet and I was going to open with 1250. And I got pictures. I look horrible. I mean, I look bad. And so I go out and I stand up and I unrack it and I get settled and I go rack it. Had him rack it, went in the back, and Ethan and Scott are like, what the hell was that? And I go, I didn't feel like squatting. I go, for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like lifting. And I go, I'm not going to try 1221 and put anybody at risk if I don't feel like doing it. And that's when my family and all my training partners had like an intervention. And they're like, dude, you're going to kill yourself if you don't stop. And they're like, you got nothing to prove to nobody. Like, just stop. And so we came up with a plan that I would focus on Highland Games. So like, okay, I'm only going to train so much and I'm going to start doing more Highland Games stuff, which I, again, still overdid. But I did okay in Highland Games for a little bit. And eventually I just kind of went, all right, Chad, you're being a retard, dude. Like, you need to stop. And that was kind of when it's like, all right, I need to back way off, like limit how much I can lift in the gym. And if I want to do more reps, I'll do more reps, but like just seriously limit it. And that's when I kind of started to heal. And that's when I kind of like I had my granite business at the time.
I think it's really important for people to hear though, that you did have to back off.
Yeah.
You needed like space from the thing that you're just really into it.
I needed to stop. Yeah, I needed to stop training as hard and as long as I was. And now come way forward. This is interesting too. When I moved down to Pahrump, there's one gym, and I trained at it one day, and I went, I can't. No, I love lifting too much, and this gym is too horrible.
Yeah,
like I'm not doing it. So I moved my big tire, I had these huge chunks of metal, like 200 and 300 pounds. I moved those out to my land. So I start beating on the tire, flipping the tire, carrying the metal plates. And I literally have not trained in a gym for almost a year.
Nice.
And that's the longest I've ever went in my entire life. Never went anywhere near that long. But I was riding my BMX bikes a lot. I was hiking a lot. I mean, I was moving, but no weights. And I did start back for like 2 weeks going light. And then like, I had all these things I had to get done for these inspections, so I was just working on the building. And I'm hoping I'll probably start back this next week. And I'm super excited. I'm super excited to start regular, consistent training again. And to just like, I mean, I feel good. My sleep's not at its best right now, but I feel good. Like, I mean, I don't have joint pain.
You feel like you lost any muscle mass or anything? You look huge still.
I definitely lost some muscle. But
you probably put that back on pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I think 6 months from now, I might be stronger than I was when I started this house.
Chad, I'm curious about this because, like, of course, everybody has different sports, right? What would be like an athlete's assessment of themselves to understand whether today is a smart day that I should push whatever the intensity it might be that I'm thinking of pushing, whether it's going out to sprint, going out to, do some hard rolls of jiu-jitsu. There's still similar things that people can ask themselves to understand that. So what would you have an athlete do?
First of all, I've tried a bunch of different stuff. Your grip is a huge thing of how your central nervous system is. So you can get a grip squeezy thing. Yeah. It kind of works. You can go by your HRV. For me, it's not consistent enough for me to be able to look at that. Yeah. Velocity-based training is the one I'm going to get to playing with when I get back to training, because you can use a velocity meter with your warm-ups, and if you're going as hard as you can, it will kind of set and tell you, hey, dude, you're slow today, so your central nervous system's off.
Something that you attach to a barbell or something like that?
Yes. And they've gotten like a couple $100, and there's actually one that you buy and they send you a magnet in it and your phone reads it. But so it's like $14 a month or $15 a month.
Yeah, and you can also do this just by throwing med balls, throwing punches at a heavy bag.
So you could
what's
check
your reactive
check
time?
Your speed.
How quick are you?
But back like in when I was training with my team, I mean, it's how is your appetite? Yeah. If you're not wanting to eat, something's going on. How is your sleep? Is your sleep consistent? Is there anything that has affected it? And I found what a lot of people, what happens is it initially starts with you waking up a lot during the night. Where like if you're a person who only wakes up 1 or 2 times or no times, and all of a sudden you're waking up every 20 or 30 minutes, your central nervous system is not happy, and you need to give it a break.
If you're uncomfortable going to bed, like if you're trying to go to bed and you, not that your mind is racing, but you're uncomfortable, like your hips or shoulders or that's
your
actually
stomach.
Some of that stuff's not normal. That's not
It's not normal.
Like I think we just think it's normal.
And
you know,
even,
like, I'm supposed to be kind of sore and beat up, but it's like, no, you beat yourself up too much.
Your sense of well-being is kind of a hard one to track, but like literally your sense of well-being. Do you notice you're getting pissed off at your spouse? Getting pissed off in traffic more often?
Yeah.
Like we forget that our mind talks to our heart and our heart talks to our body. And like all of this stuff is communicating. So if you're not feeling right and you're having anger issues and you're spouting out, and it means something's not healing and recovering the way it should.
Okay. Something that I think is funny because it's like, it screams, okay, yeah, this is powerlifting, is the appetite portion of it. Because for me, right, when my appetite's going crazy, I know I haven't slept enough. Like it's really? For me, like, cause I generally do some fasting, just so I don't feel controlled by my appetite. I can eat a lot. Don't get that twisted, right? But when I wake up and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta eat. And I'm like, all I can think about is eating, and it's frustrating. I know that I actually probably need more sleep. So when I'm thinking about, but the powerlifters always eat. That's the thing. You know what I mean? So if a powerlifter doesn't want to eat, there's a problem.
Chad, if we would,
well, no, even that, like it was funny after meets, I would drop 30 or 40 pounds.
Yo,
I hated eating.
Really?
Hated it. Cause I had to eat so much.
That's true, actually.
That the things that I enjoyed were miserable.
Yeah. I mean, you were probably close to 400 pounds, right?
Yeah. I weighed in I still kick myself. I should have went and bought a gallon of milk. Because I weighed in at 398 at the APF seniors in Detroit.
You're a real quitter.
I'm a quitter. I am a total quitter. I should have said, hold on, dude. I'll be back.
A lightweight we've been talking to the whole time.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Wow. What do you weigh now? Like you look like you're in like the 250, 260. Oh, you're in the 290s?
At 300.
Dude, wow. You hold 300. Wow.
Yeah.
You hold 300 really well.
Could be a plus size model over there, bro.
Seriously. Wow. Okay.
Hey, Chad, I think if we would have got a hold of Nsima at a younger age, we could have turned him into a 300-pound powerlifting
Oh,
monster.
he could handle 300 pounds.
Yeah, right? That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so remember Scott?
Feed him real well.
When did you meet? How big was Scott when you first met him?
Oh, yeah, he put on a ton of weight. Yeah.
He was. I think he was at. No,
He
he was
might
at.
have been 240.
He was at the seminar that Dave did in
This
Reno.
guy's like 6'3", maybe.
Yeah, he's like 6'3", and he was when he started with me. He was like 189.
Oh my God.
He was skinny as shit.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
And so I took him to one of Dave's seminars when Dave did one in Reno, and I love this story. I go, hey Dave, man, here's my buddy Scott, and he goes, you need to be 330, and just walks on. And Scott's like, dude, I'm like 200 pounds. What? Like, I can't be 330. He did. He got up to 330.
Wow. Yeah, he also got really strong.
Yeah.
So-
and we also ate lunch with Dave that day. Oh, dude, I love Dave's stories. First of all, we go to this like local deli, and so Dave goes up to the counter, and it's this young kid, and he's like, "What do you got?" Like the menu's like on the wall. The kid's like, "We got like deli sandwiches and stuff." What do you like? Kid's like, I don't know. Yeah, what do you like? Tell me what you like. The kid's like, and finally he throws out a sandwich, and Dave's like, yeah, I'll take 2 of those. And then he goes and grabs like 2 bags of chips. And we're sitting at the table, and Scott's just like, holy, like, Jesus, like he's just pounding this food. Then he goes and buys like, I think he bought 4 of the king size Reese's peanut butter cups.
Oh my God.
And it's just, and I'm like, that's how you get 330.
That's how you pack all that weight on.
Yeah. That's so funny. He was freaking out. Scott was freaking out. He's like, no way, no way.
I heard something recently. People have identified that IQ is like not the greatest marker of intelligence. It can be a marker of intelligence. They have other tests that they say are superior. But I saw where somebody was saying that the thinking of your own thoughts is where intelligence really lies, like how you think about your own thoughts. And I think that has a lot to do with what you're talking about here today, like thinking about your feelings. It might have been with who's the guy you worked with really recently? Quick?
Jim Quick.
Jim Quick. It may have been somebody like that was mentioning it. But it is a fascinating thing because it's something that you probably don't think about it a lot until you're a little bit older. It's not really something that happens when you're younger. As you mature, you start to think a lot more about your thoughts, and you start to think about how you're kind of getting moved around and pushed around by emotions a lot of times.
It did happen for me when I was a kid.
That's when you started kind of thinking about you've always been a thinker.
Yeah. I can take you to the school when I was in first grade where I would sit at recess and I would watch kids. And I would watch kids go pick on another kid. And I would go, why did he do that? Like that kid did nothing. Why did he go pick on that kid? And then I would think, that's not right. And I would go pummel that kid. Like in my house, if you're defending somebody, fighting's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm like, I pummel the shit out of this kid. Like
you're the United States. We get it.
Yeah. But I really distinctively remembering why people treat other people like he wasn't bothering you. Like, why did you just leave him alone? Like you actually instigated the whole thing.
Yeah, you went out of your way to bully that kid.
And I kind of went through my whole life doing that. And even when I said I would have like this obsession with like suicide, not that I wanted to commit it, but I was curious what happens.
Yeah.
And like, I've had that my whole life. I loved it. Back when you could go to an airport and watch people, me and my best friend would go to the St. Louis airport and just watch people. And it's just fascinating to just watch what people do. And
now you can airdrop
try to
random
figure
pictures.
out what they're thinking.
My kids do
Technology,
that. And then people like look up.
They airdrop like people that
don't
walk.
mess that. Don't
Really?
mess that. My kids will just.
So you can like take a picture of somebody and then airdrop that picture too.
Yeah.
It'd freak me the hell out if I got that.
You can do that.
I mean, they don't take a picture of the person, but they'll just take a picture like kind of nearby or something.
I would be walking behind them going, who took that picture?
Yeah,
This
right.
angle?
Kind of start looking all around. You're like, who the hell took that picture of me?
But yeah, I always thought about that kind of stuff. And then just as I got, and I don't know if it was, I don't know why. I wonder why. And then with the sleep problems and then kind of having to, because I was pretty much grounded from like 6th grade to 8th grade. Because every report card I had was horrible. Because I was tired. I didn't care. I had no reason to get good grades in my mind. And I knew that like, dude, my parents are eventually going to let me out. Like it's not forever. and I still could sneak into my gym. So what did I care? And then in high school, it's like, okay, I want to throw the shot put, I want to play football. Well, my dad's not going to let me do anything with anything less than a C. So all of a sudden I was on the honor roll. And that was like, my thing was like, okay, a C is borderline. So if I get B's, everybody leaves me alone. Like, make the honor roll, nobody says anything. So that's when I kind of started teaching myself, because I knew I couldn't stay awake. And I got an in-school suspension once for fighting. So they gave me all my homework for the week, and I got to go into one of my football teacher's classes. I had all my work done in like 2 days, and I just slept for the next 3. It was awesome. I'm like, dude, can I get all my homework for the next 4 years? Just let me play football.
Yeah.
Wow. And so I think that's where like the thoughts of the suicide and what happens afterwards, and I had one friend in high school commit suicide, and I refused to go to his funeral because I thought it was chicken shit. Thought it was a chicken shit way out. Boy, did life put one upside my head, man, and showed me the error of my ways.
Yeah.
For sure on that one. But then I've just always thought, and even coming into, I remember I tell this story about the first time I was on a job site. I mean, I was on a job site, a kid all the time. The first time I actually started working framing, and I'm like, dude, these old dudes ain't beating me, man. I'm doing more work than anybody. And like how many boards can I carry at once? How much can I do? And I was working with my brother. And so I'm just running like a madman. And all the old guys are just like, stupid kids. You know, and then at the end of the day, I'm like, how did they frame more than me? Like, I worked my ass off. This is fucked up. Mm-hmm. But they were efficient. Yeah. I was inefficient. I didn't know what I was doing. So I just wasted all this energy. That was stupid. And like, I've always seen things that way and looked at things that way. And in throwing, you know, throwing was a ton of technique. Getting into PT, you know, I would question my PTs. Oh, they hated me because I would question them all the time. They didn't hate me. They actually loved me, but they would get frustrated. And I made a lot of extra money betting them. and I would be right. And I'm like, just because you went to school, don't make it right, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't give a shit. And I just kept thinking. And then when I got to powerlifting, it was the same thing. The problem I had with powerlifting was you get so saturated into the people that are around you, and you start questioning yourself. Because you're like, no, come on, Nick, no. Like, everybody's doing this.
Yeah. My
thinking must be wrong. Like, I can't, this is not right. And like with accommodating resistance, I knew from throwing, I'm like, wait a minute, dude, I'm training this linear periodization, I'm getting slower. Like, slower is not good. Even though it's heavy weight, it's not good. I still need to be explosive. And so I'm thinking of going back to how I trained throwing, and I'm thinking of, I used bands and stuff with PT. I didn't know how to put anything together. And then I went to my first seminar with Dave, and I'm like, oh no, this is what I've been thinking. Like, not, they had put it together, but I'm like, these are my rough ideas. Mm-hmm. And that was when I kind of learned, and I went back to the gym and I looked around and I go, I'm following all these people. Not one of these people are where I want to go. Why am I following them? Why am I listening to what they're doing?
Yeah.
And then you get better and better, and then you start meeting better and better athletes. And I'm completely, if I get a chance to sit down with Ed Cohn, dude, my mind is open. Not to say I won't argue with him, because I will, but it's because I want to understand. You know, and then you start learning what these guys are doing, and you're like, wait a minute, I doubted myself when my thinking was kind of at least on a similar path. Mm-hmm. And then you start building trust in yourself, and then you start going, well, wait a minute, then if I know Louis Simmons is Louis Simmons, and I know he's super smart, but I go, if I go to West Side, George Halbert isn't really doing what Louis said. Chuck Vogelpool's not really doing what Louis said. Like, they're all taking what Louis said and moving into their own things. So I'm like, why am I trying to do exactly what Louis says? You know, I need to find what works for me. And even to the point that maybe it comes down to, they all work, but the one you feel comfortable with is the one that helps you mentally. Because if I give you I could give you the best program in the world, and if you don't believe in it, you're probably not going to see great results.
Yeah.
I can give you a completely crap program, But if you believe in it and you're bought in, I'll bet you still do good. So we forget about that too. And so that's where like part of the reason I wrote the book is I'm like, wait a minute, everybody wants to learn training. Everybody wants to learn a program, wants to learn exercises. What's the new exercises? I need different exercises. And I'm like, do you know how many exercises I did my whole powerlifting career? I don't, because I've never figured it out, but I'll bet you money it's not more than 40. I mean, for my whole body, my whole career, I did good mornings almost all the time. Like, why do you need 800 different exercises? You just need the ones that fix your weak points. And so it's like, I don't have a problem like about thinking about stuff deeper and going, I don't care what other people thought. Like when I think about sleep problems and I think about mental health issues, just because all these people in college and all these professors said this, I'm not buying it. Like, give me some logic and give me studies that are legit.
Yeah, you got to be constantly kind of questioning the knowledge and then also, you know, putting some of the things into practice, like trying things. You try new things. That's what I love to do. I love to have different people on the show that have different points of view, and they come from different backgrounds, and they say all kinds of. We've had people say all kinds of stuff. We've had people talk about urine therapy on the show, drinking their own piss and stuff like that. We had people talking about all kinds of stuff.
I'm not going down that road.
Right? Right. I know. But then like eventually what happens is like we'll have someone else on the show and somebody else will mention something similar, and then somebody else will mention, and you're like, maybe there is some truth to, you know, getting more sunlight or whatever the thing might be. But you do have to be, you have to kind of constantly be in search of it.
Yes.
And the journey of being in search of it, I think it will eventually lead you to the things that are going to make you feel good and the things that are going to kind of lock into your personality, because that is an interesting thing. What you're doing has to sort of fit with your personality a little bit.
Yes.
Now, there's some people that just love flat out to be told what to do, and they can follow like an app, and there could be like an instructor or trainer on there. They put the phone or the iPad or whatever in the corner of the room, and then they just follow along with like dumbbells. I've never been that way. I don't like that. I barely even like being told what to do. I don't know why. But it's like it's not a great trait to have, because I do it with everything. I shun like being told what to do always and forever, and that is something I need to actually work on a little bit. But it is important that you're training.
I don't know that you need to work.
Well, I just think it's good to be as open as possible. Yeah. And so when someone does tell me something, depending on who it is, I should probably say, I should give that a shot before I'm a dick about it, before I shut down the idea. I didn't even try the idea yet, you know? Yeah. So sometimes I can be closed-minded to certain things, and maybe people don't know that, but I try to be open-minded, but there are still things when someone tells me what to do. I would say you are open-minded. Yeah.
Like, well, you try. It seems to me you're willing to try just about anything, because you have tried all these different things, and that's kind of one of the things I respect about you is like, and I think it's interesting, especially with like the nutrition aspect. It's like, dude, you've stayed lean doing I don't even know how many programs, and to me that kind of says, which one do you like? Which is the one? And maybe Stan said something about this too. That it's the one. The best nutrition program for you is the one you will stick to with. Yeah. So find one that kind of fits something you can deal with for long term.
What's a barn dominium?
I can't believe you guys.
We got to bring up some pictures or something of what the hell's a barn dominium.
It's either a pole barn or a metal building, and so you build the building, and then you build your living quarters inside of it. Now, some people will build the whole building will be a house. And then other people like me will build like this metal building, and then there's a living quarters inside. Then there's a huge gym, shop area, and garage. But it's all in one enclosed building.
It's kind of cool looking.
Yeah, it's just like a.
And you're building all this. You're doing all this yourself? You have a friend or something?
No, I contracted out. I had them do the slab and put up the metal building, because I just figured by the time I rent the equipment, I could pay them to do it. I did all the plumbing. I did all the electrical. Me and my dad did the framing. I did contract out. The guys are finishing up the drywall right now, actually.
How does that make you feel?
Because I hate drywall.
How does it make you feel building your own building?
Oh, there's
It's got to feel great.
No,
right?
yeah, there's no feeling in the world like that. I actually, at my last house, the wind blew my fence down. So I'm like, screw that bullshit. My friend calls it, he calls it Aichs proof. Like anything me and my dad build, he's like, yep, that's Aichs proof, because we overbuild everything.
Nice.
So I built this fence, and dude, I used metal posts, and that sunk 36 inches into shit tons of concrete. And I actually took a picture of it running a string down, and I sent it to my dad. And I go, I just want to thank you because you taught me to do my own shit.
Yeah.
And I go, it may only be a fence, but I feel pretty goddamn good. So like with this house, I've done a lot of different stuff, and I learned how to do granite. And I started a granite company with my friend. Granite sinks, countertops, and I mean, we're fabricating all of it. So, I mean, yeah, dude, I never wired a full house before. And I'm out there, I did my breaker box, I ran 220 power, yeah.
Now,
cool.
if something sucks about it, it's your fault. You can't be like, who
is my
built
fault.
this? Who built this sink this way? This
But
thing's a piece of shit.
if anything ever happens, I know how to fix it.
That's right.
Question for you. You have a chapter in your book, and this is the first time I saw it, so I glanced through, and the chapter that interested me the most was the Never Limit Yourself chapter. And as you're talking about this, and you're talking about things that you've never done in aspects of this building, and boom, you figure out a way how to do it.
Yes.
And also, obviously, you have these crazy powerlifting numbers that at the time probably no one was able to achieve, right? The mentality of not limiting yourself, where did you grip onto that? When and why?
So for starters, when I got into powerlifting, and me and one of the guys in the gym had a bet to reach 700. He went to the meet, and we did our openers, we did our second lifts, and he picked 699. And I'm like, I don't know if I can cuss on here or not, but yeah, I'm like, you pussy. Like, you are such a pussy. And I did 705. Mm-hmm. And from then on, I'm like, dude, pay up. You didn't do 7. And I'd hear him across the gym talking, I'm a 700. No, you're not, dude. You're a 699. Like, you did not hit 7. But shortly after that, I told my partners, I go, I'm going to do 1,000 pounds drug free. Not one person in my life believed me. Like, even my training partners at the time were like, dude, nobody's done that. Like, no one's done it. What the hell makes you think you of all people, what makes you think you can do it? Mm-hmm. I go, I don't know. They go, how are you going to do it? I go, I don't know. They go, when are you going to do it? I go, I don't know. I know I'm going to do it. That's what I know. Just believed I could. I mean, I just thought I could.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad made me read, what was it? The Power of Positive Mental Attitude by Norman Anthony Peale. When I was a kid, I hated it. I hate reading. Can't believe I wrote a book. I wrote a book. Like, I'm as proud of writing that book as any of my lifting numbers. So I think somehow that stuck in my head, whether I wanted to read it or not. Like, something stuck in there.
Yeah.
And then my dad taught me about visualization when I was a kid.
Nice.
And, I remember I had an old videotape of Al Feuerbach where he sang Shot Put Blues. And, they talked about, like, you got to see it in your mind's eye. Like, if you can't see it in your mind's eye, if you can't believe that you can do it, how are you ever going to do it? Like, you got to start with belief.
Yeah.
And so I think things just trickled down in my head. And it's not like I've ever been naturally good at anything, because I haven't. I mean, my freshman year of shot put, I was horrible. My freshman year of football, that's why I started lifting. I couldn't make first string my freshman year of football, and I was pissed. And the only thing I could think to do was get bigger and stronger. So I started lifting. My senior year, I got most improved for track. I won my district, my district conference. Totally screwed up sectionals bad, so I didn't go to state. But I mean, I went from horrible to okay. And I don't know, I've just had so many things in my life that I've tried that it's like, okay, I'm going to fuck up. I'm going to mess things up. But you know what? That's just learning.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that happiness is, so I take everything back to lifting. In life, when we're in a little happy phase in our life, that's a recovery phase. That's time for you to go, cool, man. Things are going smooth. It's relaxing. It's nice. This is time for me to recover. This is time for me to rejuvenate my body.
Yeah.
When things are hard, when we struggle, that's when we learn. And it's kind of like Joseph Campbell, who thought a lot about the fairy tales and all the myths and stuff in a hero's journey. We're on continuous hero's journeys. When one hero's journey ends, that's a little lull. That's a time for us to recover. It's a mellow time. Then we need to go on another journey. And I mean, honestly, another part of the book, the Barn Dominium, I had a really chill life up in Reno. I had my small house. I had my garage. I had clients that I enjoyed. I had online clients that I enjoyed. I was living well under my means. I got to ride my BMX bikes a lot. I was building custom BMX bikes for people. Like, it was pretty good. I'm saving a little money every month. Like, I got no complaints, man. My sleep was good. I made my own schedule. It was good. But it had been good long enough that something told me I need to challenge myself.
Yeah.
Like I need to put my cards on the table and see what happens again.
Were you natty for your whole powerlifting career?
Hell no.
Oh, but you did squat 1,000.
Yeah, no, I
Squatted
totaled
1,000 naturally.
I totaled 2473 clean, and that's when I went on. And I went on because, and this is insane too, I went on because I kept getting sick. Like every few months I would get sick and I would get these rashes on my legs. And eventually I'm at work on my forklift and I went and bought ice packs because my legs are on fire and I have this blisters up to here. And I lost 12 pounds in that day. And that, you know how hard it is to eat and gain 12 pounds. I'm like, shit, I got to go see a doctor. I lost 12 pounds. Like the blisters, who cares? But I lost 12 pounds. Now I need to see a doctor. And so they run cultures and he's like, can I pop the blisters and can we test it? And da-da-da. So they test, everything is fine. My doctor's like, can I test you for HIV? I'm like, dude, just figure out what it is, man. I don't care. Like, I don't have HIV, but go for it, whatever. The only thing I had was low testosterone. And it was like,
How old are you at the time?
115, in my 30s.
Okay.
115, damn.
Yes. And now my doctor at the time was a master's Highland game thrower. So he knew who I was. And I'm like, doc, dude, how is this possible? And he goes, I told him to check it twice.
Well, you also barely slept.
He goes, I don't know.
Right.
That was one of my thoughts has always been, if I slept, what would my test level be?
Yo.
So yeah, we tested it and then he put me on the gel, which was horrible. And so like I came back in and I'm like, doc, something's wrong, man. I'm crying at commercials. And I always get my blood work because I've never trusted. I don't just trust people. So I always get my blood work and do my own research. I mean, I've had doctors where I go in, like after the first couple visits, they stop asking me questions. They go, why are you here? And I go, I want this med. I want it for this many days. And I tell them why. And they're like, okay, cool. I'll write it. Here you go. Cause like, they're like, dude, you've already done the research. Just tell me what you want. And, so after that, I saw that my estrogen was spiked and he didn't even notice it. So I went and found an HRT doctor, a really good doctor that kind of got things straightened out. And I talked with him and I go, hey, like, since I'm doing this, I'm not drug free. If I stick a needle in my butt, I stick a needle in my butt. I'm not clean.
Can we take a little extra stuff?
Let's see what happens. And that's when I was talking to anybody I could get to talk to me about it, which everybody was so cool, man. Like I'm talking to I don't want to name names, but I'm talking to a lot of big people and everybody's helping and everybody's like, no way, there's no way. And I go, yes, dude, I'm clean, man. And so then we went on and it was funny because within like 2 weeks, I go into the gym and my partners are all looking at me and I'm like, what? The hell? Why are you guys looking at me? And they're like, what's wrong with you? And I go, what? Man, I feel great, dude. They're like, yeah, where the hell's Krabby Chad at? Why are you so happy? And I go, I guess it's a test. Like I felt so much better. I mean, way better.
Yeah.
And then I experimented with it, but it never really made a huge big deal. So like, I mean, the most I ever took was like, I think going into the 07 or 08 Arnold, whatever it was, like my last 2 weeks, I had ramped up to 1,000 tests and like 75 tren every other day. And that was my biggest ever. Because I had tried more and I had tried orals, and the orals didn't do anything. It's like meds don't do anything to me. Like I can tell, I have most of my surgeries, I don't take pain pills because I'm like, it's not going to work, doc. And when they drill my teeth, a lot of times.
Do they put you under, or are you like, you still feeling that shit? Like you feel that pain?
No, they can put me under for surgery. Okay. But like when I had my compartment syndrome surgery done.
What's compartment syndrome? I remember your calves were gigantic.
I have like 2 huge scars down my leg. Compartment syndrome is when you have 4 compartments in your forearms and your lower legs. The compartment is surrounded by fascia. Well, my fascia didn't grow. So then when my muscles would get pumped up, it would cut off the blood and the nerves.
Is that where the blisters came from and the red?
No. That's the compartment syndrome is totally different.
Separate, okay.
That was why I stopped playing football, because it kept irritating it. And then
his calves
in
were
college,
his calves and his shin was like just.
In college, I finally found a doctor. I was working in physical therapy, so I found one of the doctors I dealt with. I'm like, hey, man, I got this issue with my legs, man, and it hurts. And he's like, all right, come visit me. So I went and visited him, and he's so cool, such a good dude. He's still a friend to this day. He came in, and he looks at it, and he's like, man, I don't know, Chad, but I'll tell you what, I'll do some research. And he starts doing this research. And so he calls me up one day, and he's like, hey, can you meet me at the Reno Athletic Club? I'm like, yeah, sure, cool. What are we going to do? He goes, you'll see, come on. And so I go over and I meet him, and he's got this gauge, this pressure gauge. Mm-hmm. It's got, I swear to God, this needle's like this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, the hell's that for, man? And he's like, we're going to stick this in your deep posterior compartment and tape this gauge to your leg, and you're going to go run. And I'm like, oh, I am? Huh? All right, let's do it. So he tapes it, and I go run. And I would get what I call slap foot. Like I couldn't move my foot. Yeah. Like it would just no control. So I would have to kick up and like flip my foot out, and he would slap down.
Yeah.
And so I'm on the treadmill for like 5 minutes and slapping all over. And I come back, and I think the number, it's a long time ago, I think the numbers were not supposed to exceed 15 millimeters of mercury. When he stuck it in, I was at 17. I was at like 120 after just a few minutes of running.
Oh my gosh.
And then so we went in to have surgery. So funny. I mean, I was like 270 when I was throwing. And he's like, yeah, I'm not knocking your ass out till we're in the surgery room, because I ain't lifting you on that fucking table. You're going to get yourself up on there. So I had never done any drugs in my life. I didn't smoke pot till like just a few years ago, which doesn't work either, by the way, which is really weird. Such a disappointment to my brother, because he's waited his whole life to smoke pot with me.
Damn. So it doesn't hit, you don't feel it. You just like, and nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I smoked like 4 joints with my brother, and he's like, you feel it yet? And I'm like, I mean, I feel good. Like, is there something I'm supposed to feel? Because I feel normal. And he's like, you're shitting me. And I go, wow. Yeah, no. He's like, well, you're going to stop smoking my pot then. And so I'm in the recovery room. Now, the one drug they gave me did work. Uh-huh. The nurses come up, and they're like, we're going to give you this drug. It's just going to make you feel good. And I'm like, and I'm the only one in there. And I'm just sitting there, and they're all and they keep looking at me. And I'm like, what? What are you looking at? And all of a sudden I go, I feel pretty good. I'm like, I feel really good. It reminds me of the bigger, Big Trouble Little China, when they do the drink right before they go down.
Unfortunately, I never saw it.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Chat, real quick question. What's your ancestry? Do you know?
Mostly German.
Mostly German? Because like, as you're talking about all this, like I imagine, like, I don't know if, like, in video games, they're like these berserker class type things, and they don't feel much pain. Mm-hmm. They can just run into war. It's like
robust.
Well, that's
seem like that to like if you were. That would be you. You'd be the guy with an axe and just. I love telling stories.
It would not look weird if he was holding a giant axe.
It would. Lord of the Rings, right here. Shit.
I love telling stories, especially when it makes people laugh. So in my gym, we had a light by the stairs, and then there was a light on the other end. And I would go out the basement door to go to my best friend's house. So I shut the light off, and I'm like, I'll hit the door, whatever. So I'm running through the gym, and I go to cut, and just boom, big smash. And I'm like, oh, shit. And my mom's like, what the hell? What was that? And I go, I just hit the wall. No big deal. I'm going to Chris's. And I come home the next day, and I'm in the gym, and I'm like, what the fuck? hey, Mom, what the hell happened to the wall, man? And then I walk up to it, and I'm like, my fist and my knee and everything, just like, and I'm like, oh, well. Yes, I did that.
It's cartoonish, bro.
I did that.
The holes in the wall.
And now here, because it's still the same thing, I have so many BMX bikes that I would take my clients and I would be like, all right, today we're BMX bike riding. That's our GPP.
Yeah.
And I would give them all a bike. Well, a couple of them had bought custom bikes from me, but they would all get a bike and we would go ride BMX. And I'm always late. I could kick everybody's ass. Doesn't matter. Like, no, Jamie probably could have beat me, but I don't know.
All right, Mark, you're getting leaner and leaner, but you always enjoy the food you're eating. So how you doing it?
I got a secret, man. It's called Good Life Protein.
Okay, tell me about that.
I've been doing some Good Life Protein. You know, we've been talking on the show for a really long time of certified Piedmontese beef, and you can get that under the umbrella of Good Life Proteins, which also has chicken breast, chicken thighs, sausage, shrimp, scallops, all kinds of different fish, salmon, tilapia. The website has nearly any kind of meat that you can think of. Lamb is another one that comes to mind. And so I've been utilizing and kind of using some different strategy, kind of depending on the way that I'm eating. So if I'm doing a keto diet, I'll eat more fat, and that's where I might get the sausage, and I might get their 80-20 grass-fed, grass-finished ground beef. I might get bacon. And there's other days where I kind of do a little bit more bodybuilder style, where the fat is, you know, might be like 40 grams or something like that. And then I'll have some of the leaner cuts of the certified Piedmontese beef.
This is one of the reasons why, like, neither of us find it hard to stay in shape, because we're always enjoying the food we're eating. And protein, you talk about protein, leverage it all the time. It's satiating and helps you feel full.
I look forward to every meal. And I can surf and turf, you know.
Yeah.
I could cook up some, chicken thighs or something like that and have some shrimp with it, or I could have some steak. I would say, the steak, it keeps going back and forth for me on my favorites, so it's hard for me to lock one down, but I really love the bavette steaks.
Yeah.
And then I also love the ribeyes as well.
You can't go wrong with the ribeye. So, guys, if you guys want to get your hands on some really good meat, you can head to goodlifeproteins.com and use code POWER for 20% off any purchases made on the website, or you can use code POWERPROJECT to get an extra 5% off if you subscribe and save to any meats that are a recurring purchase.
This is the best meat in the world.
So we're coming up.
You're racing?
No, we're just riding, but
Okay,
I'm keeping them. I'm making
see.
them. I'm making them work.
Yeah.
And we're coming up on this area where there's a couple where the sidewalk bent up, so there's a couple good jumps, and I'm like, all right, bah, 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 and I start pumping, and I snap my chain again. Like I snap chains a lot. Well, when you're like pushing as hard as you can, and that chain let guts go, you just go. So I'm going, oh shoot. Like I go over the handlebars, and my hand's caught in the handlebar, so I can't like put my hands out. Bam, right here. Screw up my shoulder, my elbow. I'm bleeding all over the place. And I get up, and like Jamie and Paul are like, "Are you okay, man?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got to fix my chain." And they're like, "What? Like, are you like you're bleeding?" And like,
Man,
I'm like, "Yeah, whatever."
If you ever did MMA,
And then like we go, I have to get my chain fixed, and they're like, "So we're going back home?" I go, "Why don't we go back home? Like we're finishing this ride, man. Like we got another 7 miles to go. Like we're not go home. What are you talking about?"
Having too much fun out here.
Yeah, I was awesome. I don't know.
no part of you when you were younger wanted to like fight. I feel like you.
Oh no, I fought a lot.
Okay, you just like okay.
I fought. There's one time I tried to take on the whole other track team. I would literally it was more fun to try to fight multiple people.
Yeah.
So like there's multiple times that I was with my best friend didn't like fighting at all. There was one time kids were teasing him on the way home, and I'm like, "Dude, I can take care of that." He's like, "No, just they'll stop. I go, "No, I don't mind. Like I want to. Like just tell me, I'll take care of it." And he's like, "No, it's fine. And I'm like, "No, seriously, like, dude, right now, they'll shut up. Trust me. Like, I'll end this right now." No, it's okay. And I'm like, "Fuck." And like, but we were at the movies one time, and I had to wear, and this is in the book too. I was born really severely pigeon-toed, so I had to wear these funny shoes. And at night, my dad had to put this bar on my feet to try and keep them straight. And so I'd get up in the morning, and I'd have to crawl around the house because my dad's big, man. I couldn't get that thing off. And so I had to wear these funny shoes. And so we're at the movies, and I still have to wear these funny. I had to wear them. That's why I wear Vans all the time now. Because when Vans were popular, I couldn't wear Vans because I had to wear these stupid orthopedic shoes and then these dorky tennis shoes. And so this car pulls up all these high school kids, and we're in middle school, and they start making fun of my shoes. And I'm immediately at the door of that car, reaching in there, grabbing kids. And I'm like, I'll beat all 5 of you right now. I don't give 2 shits, man. And then there's a cop like 2 cars behind him. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. You are, at least 3 of you are going down before you get me. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
In Bigger, Stronger, Faster, there's the clip of you falling and dumping the weight, I guess, like kind of off your back. I forget exactly what happened.
Oh, I tried to stay with it as long as
maybe
I could.
Ryan can.
It shot me.
Try to find the. Yeah, you can't.
Do you remember the premiere? When that clip came up?
I don't remember exactly what happened.
That audience went dead silent except for me laughing. Like people like, oh,
yeah,
and I'm like,
it's super abrupt.
It's awesome.
Super abrupt, kind of what happens.
I've done it twice.
Oh, here we go.
So wait, okay. Well,
Keep it. This is. I was awake for.
This is like an 1,100-pound squat, probably.
1173.
This is a million years ago, before people really lifted weights. Setup didn't look bad.
No, I got
that
kind
looked
of
just like yours.
I got kind of loose at the
Looks similar,
bottom.
right?
Yeah.
I got loose at the bottom, and I let the suit shift my hips forward. And then
So
it's done.
Injuries from that?
Medial collateral strain.
What's medial collateral? Just a knee?
It's just the tendon that goes on the inside of your knee. Ligament, sorry, not tendon. Yeah.
And were you messed up from that for like a long time, or?
No, I was training the next.
Because I remember, like, when that happened,
try to find 1,052.
So I was competing.
Same thing happened with 1,052.
That one, 1,052 is probably worse.
So I was competing in this meet, and I was like, oh man, and I heard what happened, and I think actually somebody, unfortunately, they hurt their hand pretty bad, right?
Yes, I felt so bad.
Someone's hand got squished, which is horrible. But seeing Chad like in the warm up room, he's still back there, and he's like totally fine. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, though, this has a lot to do with your mobility, and I'd like you to share with us about your mobility, because you have.
I don't.
From what I remember, you're like
I don't know if the 1,052's on there.
Kung Fu Panda.
On my phone. Yeah. Well, that was
mobility.
Well, let me go back to the compartment syndrome.
Oh yeah.
So when we're in there, I get in there and I'm joking with the doctor, and the anesthesiologist is pretty funny too. So I'm joking with them, and he's like, "All right, we're going to shoot you up, and you're going to go night-night, and we're going to do our surgery." I'm like, "All right, cool." I'm like, "Hey, did you do it yet?" He's like, "Yeah, you don't feel anything?" I'm like, "No, good." Okay, let me do it again. You starting to feel it? I go, no, fine. Like, dude, are we going to do this or what? And so, like, finally he gets to, like, number 6. This is a 6th shot he's giving me. And he's like, I've never had anyone take this much. He goes, you sure you don't feel it? I go, no, man, I feel great. I'm nothing, fine. And he's like, okay, I got one more shot. And if you're not out, we got to reschedule this because I got to go get more. I've never had to have any more. I always return stuff.
Yeah.
I've never had to have this. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, the shit's not working. And so he shoots me up the 7th time, and I go, oh, hold on. Okay, yeah. Hold on. Just give me a couple minutes. I go, hold on. And I'm like, all right, doc, get ready. And I'm like, and out. Wow. But I mean, I knew it was coming. I could feel it. I could control it. And then so we had surgery and stuff. But the surgery didn't work. My pressure was still too high, and it was basically like, oh yeah, this is it.
This is the 1,052, I think. Whoa.
Yeah, so I had at that meet, I broke my drug-free squat record, and then I was going for 1,052. And it's kind of hard to see, but I was wearing old checkered Vans, high tops, and don't do what I do. Nobody should ever do what I do. So my foot rolls over on the way down. I'm pushing out so hard. You remember when we didn't root, but we just pushed out?
Mm-hmm.
I pushed out so hard, I rolled over the sole of it on the way down. Well, in Chad's brain, that's cool. Just go ahead and get to the bottom, then pull your foot back flat, and then stand up with it.
Oh.
No big deal. So I get to the bottom, and I'm like, okay, pull the foot flat. And just my whole knee comes in.
Did you get injured there?
Nah, I felt like I had a ball in. Felt like there was a baseball in my knee, but I finished the meet, broke all the world records in the total. And then funny enough, my friend from the Philippines you can kind of see him off on the shot. He calls my house the next day, and I was staying with my parents. He calls my house, and my mom answers, and he's like, hey, I was just calling to check on Chad, see how he's doing. She's like, yeah, he's not here. She goes, I think he's at the gym. I think he said he was going to go squat some. And he's like, you're kidding me. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure that's what he said. And I didn't go heavy. I'm like, yeah, I need to go in and just work it out.
Move around.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy stuff. The mobility is something that something that you worked on?
Well, when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of money growing up. We had some really rough years. And there was a point when we were back in Reno, I think, that they could kind of afford my brother to take martial arts, but not me. So I would go. I wanted to go every day. And I would sit and watch. And then I would go home and I would practice. And so I see them doing all this stretching, and I'm like, okay, stretching's important. Like, I got to start stretching. So as a kid, I start stretching. And I don't remember how long I did that. It seems like I was doing it for a while. And, then everything's kind of stopped because I was just being a kid. And then when I went to track, I knew, stretching's important. I have to have this rotation, and I need to have this to move. And I ended up getting so good at it that, by my junior year, I was running all the stretching. Like, my coach wouldn't even bother with it. He's just like, Chad, you're captain, go. Warm everybody up, stretch everybody out. Yeah. And so I was running all the stretching and stuff. And so just throughout my life, I knew that flexibility was important. And then when I got into PT, it was such a huge thing in PT too, because you see, well, this person's back's screwed up just because his hamstrings and glutes are tight as shit, man. Mm-hmm. And I learned that it was, if people have hypertonicity, there's a lot of different things you can do. I'm really big on the magnesium gels and stuff, but stretching is one of the best things to release hypertensive muscles. Mm. And even Frank Zane back in the day, because I followed Frank Zane too. I always wanted to be way bigger than him, but the dude had a great physique, Yeah. So I can learn something from him. He always stretched before and after training, so even when I was I didn't know what I was doing in bodybuilding stuff, I'm like, oh, they're stretching before and after. So I need to keep stretching. Mm. And then, as I started learning technique and really sinking into technique, I learned that these people can't hit their technique because they're too damn tight. So if you want to squat wide, either start stretching out or stop squatting wide because you look like shit. Mm. And then the shoulders and the joints. And I knew listen, I knew when I started powerlifting, I only had so much time. There's a point where you're done. You're never going to get stronger than you were. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people can't squat too because of their upper body.
That's
squat that we're talking about,
that's
a powerlifting squat with their weights.
Why do you think Brent Meixel had a hard time benching? And why do you think his bench went up when he laid off his squats?
Yeah.
Because he was fucking his shoulders up squatting.
Right.
Because he was too tight. So I knew I had a certain amount of time, and my goal is I want to do this, be as good as I can possibly be, push myself as hard as I can push myself, and then I still want to be able to do all the other stuff I'm not doing now. So maintaining health, I was willing to risk a lot, but maintaining, I wanted to do everything I could do to stay healthy. And so you see these guys nowadays like Dave Tate, and there's all these guys that can't move their shoulders. Mm. They never, ever did flexibility. They never paid any attention to it. They never opened their chest up. And at the same time, it's one of the beautiful things about powerlifting and strength sports is a lot of people that have a genetic advantage, whether that be just knowing how to do stuff or whether that be an actual physiological advantage, they tend to miss the low-hanging fruit because it was always easy for them. And even if you have genetics, there's going to be a point where your genetics isn't going to help anymore. Mm-hmm. You're a mid-level lifter, your genetics are great, but if you want to go up, you got to use your brain. I kind of went, okay, I don't have that, but I can use my brain. So like you people that don't want to stretch your upper body out, I'm going to stretch my upper body out and watch. My stroke's going to be 2 inches shorter than yours. So my flexibility is going to allow me to lift more weight. And my shoulders are going to be healthy. So if I
can bring up a video of him benching.
If I do a big squat, I can still bench afterwards. My shoulders aren't so screwed up that it affects my bench.
Yeah, you had enough mobility. I think you could do splits and stuff, right?
Not a full split, but pretty close.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, especially
at that size.
I mean, I can spread my legs out, grab a towel, go behind my back, and touch my forehead on the floor.
Even now?
Yeah, if you gave me like 15 or 20 minutes, I could do it.
Yeah, a little bit of warm up. Yeah, and here's some video of Chad benching. You can see he gets like really wide. His legs are out really wide, and then you're driving your stomach up, and obviously you're big, so that helps. But the range of motion on the bench is.
Thanks, show what I missed.
Yeah, do the guy like that. Find it successful.
We all missed a lot of benches back then.
We did. Yes.
Sometimes somebody would credit me and they'd say, "Oh man, you were a great bencher," and I said, "No, I wasn't a great bencher. I was a strong bencher."
You were a strong bencher. That is good.
I was strong with it.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, man, it's like when you were benching, I would be like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna go have a smoke. I'll be in before he finishes this one." Like, cause I could never figure out, like you could grind like, oh, nobody's business. And that's so much pressure. I'm like, how does he handle the pressure that long? You did some of the longest benches I've ever seen. And you just don't quit. You just keep pushing and you keep pushing. And I'm like, dude, my head would have exploded. I would have had an eye pop out already or something.
Yeah, I had a bench that lasted like 20 seconds at one point.
Yes, it was crazy.
It was in Cincinnati or
like those poor spotters are like.
No, it was in maybe like Iowa or something like that. Yeah, but all the benches, they always sit all of them.
You were a grinder for sure.
You could find any of them. They all take a long time. And I always missed my first attempt. First attempt is always like.
I think this one might have been the one where I did the 1250 and I said,
look how wide you really get your feet. That's amazing.
I felt so bad because people came to see me lift that I'm like, well, I'll still bench. Like, I'll just go bench at 800 or something because that's easy and at least people can see something.
Right.
Wow.
It's it's amazing to be able to have the it's not just like mobility. It's like a static. You got to hold a static position, for a long time when you're holding those weights, and that's the same thing with a squat. And
I don't think people understand that either. And like people will go. Like, oh, well, the shirt helps you. Yeah, but you can't just rely on the shirt. You have to stay tight. You have to keep your own tension. Otherwise, that gear will throw you all over the place.
Yeah, lifting and powerlifting gear caused a whole different list of problems.
Yes, it was a whole different list.
Where can people find you, and where can they find your book?
The book is on Amazon. It's called Fight for Your Greatness, so you can punch that in or punch Chad Aichs in. I have my Instagram, and I have a Facebook that's tied to my Instagram, but I honestly don't go on my Facebook. So you can go on the Instagram, and I put the links in the bio. I started a Fight for Your Greatness Instagram too, but I don't have a whole lot of posts yet just because I don't know. I'm still kind of trying to decide what direction to go. Mm-hmm. Like, to me, it all ties in, so it makes sense. Mm-hmm. But some people are like, well, I just want to watch lifting videos. I don't give a shit about mental stuff, and I'm like, well, they tie together, but should I separate it? Should I keep them all together? Yeah. Like, I mean, that book isn't necessarily about lifting, but I tell a lot of stories about my life. I tell a lot of lifting stories because it pertains to where I came up with those principles. And I mean, it's just, to me, it's like a fabric.
I think it's amazing, man. You're a survivor. You're somebody that not everyone is still standing that has suffered the mental health issues that you've had and the sleep issues that you've had. Yeah. So you figured out a recipe that worked for you, and now you can share that with other people.
That was when I watched the movie about Anna Mant, that documentary. Like, if you have bipolar, it's really, really, really important that you control it, because the more manic episodes you have, you're eventually going to break. Like, one of them is going to be so bad that you never come back the same. And that scared the shit out of me because I'm kind of a control. Like, I like to know I'm in control.
Well, what if someone's
And
kind of told?
so that scared me, and I'm like, dude, I got to figure this out. I got to figure out what's going on and why I'm having these manic episodes, and I got to control this. And that was one of the first things. Is I had manic episodes, but I'm not bipolar. It was still all caused by sleep. And the funny thing about sleep is people go, oh, you get so tired you're going to sleep, and it's like, no, you get so tired you can't sleep. And then as you go down, it's like a graph. So you're like, oh, my sleep sucks. I feel horrible. And then it's like, dude, I kind of like don't feel too bad. Like I can deal with this. And then you get worse and you're like, oh, I feel horrible. And then so when you're getting better, you've got to go through these same, there's no way to just jump back up to here.
Yeah.
And like, seriously, like when we went down for the premiere, we ended up, my buddy's like, dude, I gotta sleep. So we went to Denny's and he slept in the car and I went and ate. It's seriously, it was not a big deal to be awake for 2 or 3 days. This is normal. My question is, how can I get as much recovery as possible? So there was a lot of time where it's like, okay, lay in bed and basically try to meditate. And the longer I can go without moving and keep myself calm, that's the best recovery I can get.
At least it's rest, right?
Yes.
It's not maybe it's not sleep, but it's rest.
So there was a lot of that. But I mean, if I can, in the book, I truly, with all of my heart, feel that everybody has something special about them. And I truly feel that everybody has greatness inside of them. For some people, it shows up easy. For some people, it's really deep. It's always there. And the choice is, do you want to fight for it? Do you want to dig down and find it and pull it out and show the world your energy? Because we all have it. We're all special in our own way. I mean, I guess you could say if we're all special, then none of us are special, but I would rather say we all have something different about us. If nothing else, the odds, if you go into quantum physics and try to figure out the odds of you being here compared to the gazillions of people that could have been here, just the fact that you're here is unbelievable. Just the fact that we're here living right now is unbelievable. That tells me we're all special. Like we all came here and we're all different. We all have something inside of us. So I truly believe everybody does have greatness. The question is, are you willing to look for it and find it? And you're not going to find it in the external world. It's just not going to be there.
Strength is never weakness. Weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later.